1,000 feet up in the air.
I'll pick up all the money coming out.
All
Like, so
right.
you're the one that killed the amplifier. Oh, let's see how far you can fly.
Yep. It says teleportation is not allowed to be used to put people into harmful situations, but flight can.
Yep.
Yeah.
Flight totally can.
Well, you could if you had him grappled and teleported yourself. Yes, it's when you teleport
Oh,
them,
that's
right?
an
Because you
evil
you
way
can use
around
it.
it.
You can
Yeah.
use you can use teleport against someone else, right? And it's been used a couple times in other games. Pretty interested, like to get people out of problematic situations. It's been used like other people. It's been used pretty kind of cool in ways.
Right, that would be a harsh way around a workaround is just
Hmm.
to bring them teleport with me, then let go, which isn't against the rules,
Yeah,
and then
you would have
teleport
to
myself
grapple
back.
them though, so I think it's
Correct.
all fair. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Let's get started. I'm gonna hit the music, and I'll do this one. And all right. This is chapter 6 of A Dark Future Rising. Today we have Sim as Caius and Raz as Zen. Last time we left off with these two, they were hunting down some leads. One was from Resist the Darkness, which was supposedly a terrorist cell, if you listen to basically the government cell that deals with superheroes here in town in LA. And they had sent Caius and Zen to find this Sadie Quinn, was one of the lead operatives of Resist the Darkness in town. And they had done this. They did come into contact with her in a roundabout way at her apartment when she essentially had cameras set up in the room and was able to talk to them over the internet. At this point, they did arrange a meeting for the next day with someone else, another agent that might know more of what questions they had. They did get some information, primarily that Resistant Darkness was a organization that is trying to prevent a super on super World War III scenario. And so that was the gist of what they had learned. They next went to explore a location where there was a safe house, a Resist the Darkness safe house, where there had been an explosion, supposedly, and they are heading there now. And I will let you take it away as you. I think you did stop in the woods and you turned off your cell phones and pulled out the SIM cards in order to keep from being tracked by the government, right? Is that
The
correct?
agency. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Caius correct broke his.
Okay, cool. So you do that, and so then you're ready to do whatever you want to do now. The house should be a couple 100 feet through the woods, and you can go there now if you so wish.
Yeah, I imagine they would. I think Caius would fly high though, to kind of get an overhead view while they're going, just in case it's a
Absolutely. Yeah.
trap.
Yeah. Do like a sort of helicopter flyover.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
then
You have Yoda. Sorry, Zen hanging off your back.
it's either that or Zen get approached by foot. That way, if there's any type of ambush, he'd be able to ascertain what's going on. You know what I'm saying? Like, because they wouldn't. I
Yeah,
don't.
Zen wouldn't want to get. Even if you asked him, he said, "Why'd bring a trap if I'd be just squished?"
True. So if he wanted to fly, do a flyover with Caius, he would be
Hmm.
more happy to oblige.
Yeah.
Sure.
So we're coming from the air.
And
Yeah.
then once we have done the flyover, we don't actually have to fly into land. Wherever I can see, I can teleport us because I'm already hanging off of you.
Yep.
So that's maybe a tactic we can use in the future as well, is that as long as we can see where we're going, we can insert from mid-air by just disappearing out of the air and being there.
Nice.
Because I can teleport us 1,100 feet distance.
The things we can do with that.
Hmm. Yeah. So if we combine our powers, that's a good way, I guess, to get somewhere stealthily because we're suddenly, for example, in a room. Or in a penthouse even, right? Like I can't teleport to a penthouse unless I can see it, but you can get me up just up there and then we can go in. As an example. Ooh, kaput house.
Yeah, so
Well, it's far.
you do fly overhead, and you do one pass, and you see the one side of this house, small like cabin style, is in ruin. Um, Definitely some scorch marks and blown in walls and such. You see that there's a wreck of a car on a small path near the actual building. Um, and that's really it. You get a very good bird's eye view of the surrounding areas, and you don't see anything else there. You definitely don't see any signs of ambush. Can you give me a perception roll, though? This is going to be a pretty difficult one at this range. And let me see. It would be a hard, so 37 is what we're looking at.
I don't think I can. Oh, there we go.
Oh, wow. How did that happen? 2 tens. Okay.
They didn't even. Oh yeah, they don't explode. You just rolled
'Cause
great.
I don't have skill in it.
Yeah, that was just a great roll.
Shit.
Uh,
Okay.
All right, so yeah, so you see, in addition to this, you do see there are several areas where are these mechanical, almost like, it's hard to tell at this range, but they almost look like piles of metal rubble, but not just metal like, steel, but like advanced. Their circuitry, it's not big enough to be a vehicle. So those are dotted around the area as well. And certainly if you gave them a closer inspection, you probably would be able to ascertain more information on those.
Are the Marvel movies a valid reference in your universe?
Not really. But if you like some sort of, comparison.
Yeah, something that Zen would say, oh, you remember from the book so and so or whatever, or
Oh, the Marvel movies. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, the Marvel movies definitely. They just didn't really happen, is what I mean. Yeah.
oh yeah, no. I meant just in public
Yes.
media, right?
Oh yes,
he could
yes.
he could say something like, look,
It's a Sentinel yeah.
Yeah, they exactly.
Right,
They remind
yeah.
me of the Ultron robots.
Right.
In the
Yes.
movie. Have you seen
Yeah.
that movie?
Absolutely. Yes. Uh huh.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, so he will do that. Zen will essentially like point at them. But funny enough, for Chaos, he's in his mind. Like you hear the voice in his mind. It's not unpleasant. And he will essentially say, "Can you see the electronic rubble down there? Reminds me of this very fun Marvel movie with the Sentinels, or Ultron."
And as Caius is flying, he doesn't know what the Marvel movie is or stuff. He knows what a robot may be, but he's looking down at it. And he'll answer back, of course, in his head because he knows he's, he already knows the trick there. And he'll tell him, yeah, I do see it. It does look like a sentient thing.
Is that common where you come from?
There are robots, but looks primitive.
Not to us. Let me tell you, they are not common here.
As he's in the air, hovering there, I don't think there's any more around. I think we can probably land and take a closer look if you'd want.
Yes. Can you stir them from here?
Can you what?
Can you stir them from here?
Well, if we fly low enough, they might. If there's anything in here, they might come out. But I think they would already be. They might.
Yeah,
be
let's
trying
be cautious. I'm as fragile as I look. And then he laughs.
And Caius will smile. And he'll lower down and see if anything kind of comes out after him or anything like that.
Mm-mm. You land next to the house or wherever you decide to land nearby.
Anything doesn't stir on. Like, as we
No,
get close?
no.
Okay.
As you get closer, you realize they've been destroyed.
Ah.
their pile of, some of them are more attached than others, are more complete, but a lot of them are just blown to bits. And especially in this radius right here where you're walking, there's an incredible amount of scorch marks on the ground everywhere that you can see. Like these trees behind you have been completely burnt to a crisp. They're just toothpicks standing in the ground, right? Like a forest fire almost took them out. The ground is black. The dirt has been turned into ash. The grass is completely just gone. This side of the building is just completely destroyed. The door is no longer the wall is no longer existent. This car is blown up, but you kind of notice that the car, actually, give me an investigation roll.
Looking for it now. There it is. Yeah. Wow, we're so good.
Yeah, the car's blown up too.
It's a car, I think. I don't think this car works, but I'm not sure. Yeah.
And didn't the lady say one of their people got killed here, right?
She did. She said that, didn't she say, I think that there's something wrong with that roll. Let me write that down. It looks messed up to me.
You're right. Maybe that's why I just 2.
Yeah.
I can. Hang on, let's see.
Roll it off the sheet and see. Or was that off the sheet? I can see what's happening. It's something's concatenated wrong in the macro. That's fine. I'll go ahead and fix it.
I mean,
yeah, yeah. You see the Zen is train thing, like and that tells you of how many exclamation points are in there. That's fine. That's fine. Yeah, the car is blown up too, and yes, she did tell you, I believe, that one of her people, a super, like sacrificed their life here. I don't think she got more specific than that.
Yeah.
I wonder if these were the things he's trying to get before he sacrificed his life. Cass would go over and kick it with his foot a little bit.
It just topples over to the side.
Mm.
And there's
she
other...
said to meet at a safe house, but I think we went here to check it out before we meet with her. I think, is that it?
This is a different one, right? So this is the one that...
In my notes it says she says to meet at a safe house outside of town where machines attacked them and a friend exploded.
No, I thought she meant somewhere at noon.
Yeah, so the next day she said to meet outside of town at someone else's apartment. This place was given to you by the government. They said that there was a Resist the Darkness hangout that they had heard there was an explosion at, and that's this one. This is not the meat site.
Updating my notes.
So Caius would be looking. Do you think it might have been this thing that was attacking him, or was it something else? Kind of as he's still eyeballing him after it fell.
He'll sort of in his wisdom he'll say something like, "If we persist, the answer will surely reveal itself."
Caius would actually understand. And now is there other robot debris laying around?
There is. It's you can see a few. There's like one over here, one over here.
Yeah.
And they look high tech to me.
Why don't you give me a craft roll?
It's like worldly knowledge, right? It's like
craft or lore, I would say, would be fine.
Tap into the data stream.
Social, maybe? Nope, social is wrong.
They're under knowledge.
Then knowledge. After lore, let's go with lore. Sounds fun. 12, a mighty roll.
At least it rolled.
I mean, it looks high tech to you, but
yeah. And then you just comment to Caius and say like, "I am surprised. There aren't salvagers of various corporations looting this.
Yes, that does surprise me as well. Somebody has to own these things.
Perhaps it could be the darkness.
Or it could be the other way around. These robots are with the ones that stand against the darkness, or so-called whatever.
Resist the darkness?
Yes. And he kind of thumbing through moving the car around.
Perhaps Sadie is a robot friend.
Could be. Perhaps these things were here to protect it and failed.
Caius, as you move the car around, you see a scorched skeleton in the driver's seat.
I believe I found either the super or somebody else that might have been involved. Kind of look back as then.
He walks over and you hear actually sort of like a short monk prayer, something about the afterlife, and may his return be into a happy life.
No, is there any?
Something about rebirth.
Yeah, reincarnation.
Mm-hmm.
Now, is there anything like weird? Like, is there any way to kind of tell this might have been the super? Or is like?
Well, you can actually roll your investigation rolls. That's kind of what that was. If you want to roll a 2d10, keep 2, you can. I don't think you can succeed. Right, because you can't get you can't get a 29 because you can't explode. Anyway, so no, you don't. You're not sure, but you do notice outside of the car, there is. It looks like a briefcase has been like thrown out somehow outside the car. Maybe you're not sure how it got there. It's slightly scorched, but it appears to have survived.
I'll point at it with my head and whisper in your mind, it could be dangerous. I dare not touch it, but you are powerful.
All right, I'll take a look at it. Perhaps you should, I would say, get behind the car, but I don't think that'll stop anything if it blows up or anything. It might combat you, and you'll kind of walk towards the briefcase, but you kind of maybe back up a little.
Yep, Zen backs up a little and stands literally behind you, so if there was to be an explosion, right, I'd be in your explosion shadow.
You guys are paranoid. Yeah, you head over to the briefcase. Nothing seems to be happening. It's like a leather briefcase. Looks pretty nice.
Caius will. Is there a lot? Does it look like there might be locks on it?
Yeah, it's a very typical roller lock type of thing.
Yeah, Caius will try to pry it apart.
Oh yeah, it could be an athletics roll just
You're
for
so
the
strong. Yeah.
for the giggles of it.
Man, I'm gonna roll like crap. Hang on.
I can't open this thing. I'm the worst Superman
supernatural.
I'll have to punch it open. That's all.
Must be great treasure inside.
Yeah, you open it. It's fine.
Nice.
No explosion?
No, there was. Oh yeah, you mean explosion from the suitcase? No. The briefcase? No. You open it and there's a manila envelope in there, and it's written on there, kind of in hasty writing. It says Taggard's files. So.
Caius would pick up the files and look at it. I don't remember if I gave him proficiency in English, or did I? Yeah, because I said we wouldn't be able to understand his homeworld.
That's fine. Yeah, I'm gonna hand wave that. I'm not that worried about it.
But he would, because not knowing who Taggart is, or well, I mean, he knows who Taggart is, but he knows that.
Does he know who Taggart is?
Isn't Taggart the one we met?
Oh, no, we met TK Masters. Taggart does not appear in my NPC codex.
No, you do not know who Taggart is.
Perfect. So Caius would pick him up and kind of look at him. Well, there's no bombs then, but perhaps you can make heads or tails of this. And you'll kind of hand him
not a person I am aware of yet. He sort of rifles through the files just to see if there's anything about Sadie, Resist the Darkness, the Agency, Amplify, and any keywords as I just sort of look
Well,
through
actually, you do open them. And there's nothing about Taggart, actually. It looks like dossiers for 3 other people. One is a young blonde woman who this is all handwritten. And then he has Polaroids, which is slightly strange, probably, of each one of them. Actually, I take that back. It's not a Polaroid. It's a printout on a piece of paper, right? So it's like he got the image and then printed it out on a printer. The one is, like I said, and it just says Dr. Vitae / Madison, and then another one is a picture of a middle-aged man with a beard, and it says Vindicator, and then it says mentally unstable underneath it. And then the last one says Wraith, spelled a little oddly, and then says young English punk.
Okay.
And then there's other things like their ages and some bio type stuff, like surface level type of things. Nothing all that important, and you're not exactly sure what what this has to do with anything, but
Take pictures of everything. I lay it out and then take pictures of everything on my phone because you don't need an internet connection just to take pictures.
right.
Caius would be staring. Do you think maybe those were the ones involved here? Maybe they planned to try to take the briefcase, but there was a fail
Perhaps.
because
Maybe they are the darkness. Maybe they are resist the darkness. I'm sure Sadie will reveal that to us.
yeah. Unless Sadie's working for Doppelganger.
Ah. Perhaps. It is hard to determine who is and who isn't if they don't know who they follow is real or not.
That is true.
Why don't you guys give me a perception roll real quick?
Another one.
Yeah, no.
Uh,
Perception.
Well, you don't have to.
Oh, really? Wow.
It's pretty good.
That's surprising.
Oh my gosh, it's not
Look
even
at those.
not even trained. That's crazy.
Oh. Oh.
I didn't even roll. Hang on. We got a new one here.
Don't try to blame my
I do want to
sheet.
put a point in there soon.
Holy smokes.
Yeah. Hey, 42.
All right. See, well, let me roll here.
The answer to everything.
That's pretty good.
I have an explosion.
Oops, that's not what I
Yeah. You see an explosion. You're dead.
You hear some rustling from inside this house. Like something is knocked over.
Caius is not even gonna look at it right away, but he thinks to himself, Zen, did you just hear that?
I did. Does it feel to me like there's a sentient presence nearby? Is that something that... Because you remember, there's somewhere a gray zone where you said, like, if I know someone is somewhere, I can read their mind?
Right.
Oh, no.
Mm,
There's no ambush here.
sure. Yeah, you think that there's somebody in there now that you've heard something.
Okay. I say, like, I feel a presence. Maybe a human.
Hmm.
And then he
he'll-
just walks up. Isn't this a window?
It's a blown down door at this point, yeah.
Yeah. He just sort of looks. And then just walks happily in and says, Hello! My name is Zen. I'm a friend. Come, speak to me.
There's Zen, I don't know a Zen.
You
Hold
know
on.
me now, and we can be friends if you'd like. And then he
Comes
keeps
out
walking towards the voice.
this door basically.
Oh, nice.
He looks at you and he's got a sidearm in his hand. He's got it pointed down, and he's wearing a very traditional like police officer uniform.
Oh, yeah. Zen has his hands sort of in the universal I'm no threat position and says, Oh, you won't need that, friend. This here is my friend Caius. And you are?
Officer Jared Sewell, LAPD.
Oh, what a pleasure to meet one of the those serving society to protect us all.
What are you two doing here? You don't look like
Sorry.
hikers.
As a matter of course I read his mind.
Yeah, he is interested in what you're doing here. Certainly.
And he is a cop.
He is a cop.
Okay.
He
Okay.
is a cop, but he is also not here on police business. He is here to investigate this for a third party who hired him to do so.
Oh, and do I recall, is that because he has some sort of debt he needs to settle, or just he wants to supplement his income? Like, how nefarious is he?
I mean, yeah, just extra money. Cops don't get paid very much, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, that's not bad. I mean, just live and let live. He says, I feel like we maybe have something in common. Yes.
What's that? I don't understand. What do you have in common? You come here to look at the wreckage?
Yeah. Haven't you?
Uh, well, yeah.
Great. Let's work together. What have you found so far?
Did you see those things out there?
Very interesting. They seem high tech. I was just wondering with my friend here why nobody is salvaging them. They seem valuable, perhaps.
Maybe nobody. I don't think anybody in. He catches himself. He says, "I don't know."
What was he thinking?
He was going to say something about the LAPD, but he wanted to change the subject because he's not here on official business. He was
Well,
going
he
to
sure as hell is in
he was going to
official
say
clothes.
no one knows in the LAPD, but then he was like, "Why am I here then?" So he didn't say anything.
He's like, yes, I've also seen someone unfortunately died. Maybe you can help inform their relatives. In the car?
Yeah, I'll call it in. I didn't notice that, but guess I'm not surprised. Hopefully they can figure out who it is by dental records.
Ah, yes. What about you? What have you found out?
Not much, really. Just came in here and from what I can tell, he kind of points to the other side of the building. Someone was staying here, at least temporarily. Looks like it was there was some food over there, fresh produce, that sort of thing. Stuff would have gone rotten if people weren't here.
Does he know anything about Resist the Darkness or Sadie or the Agency or anything like that?
No.
I will whisper that to Kaios. I just realized this character is pretty powerful. It's fun. Because I was like, how do I tell Kaios that this guy is not useful? I'll just whisper it to him. And I'll essentially, so the message I whisper to Kaios is like, he knows nothing about Sadie, Resist the Darkness, the Agency, or anything Supers related. He's just here to make some money on a side job.
Caius would think back. Yes, but for who?
Oh, I would know that, right? Like who he met with. If it's been within the last week, which it must have.
Yeah. It was. He doesn't know their name. They never gave it to him. That sort of thing. You have a description. Kind of a standard white male, middle-aged.
So was he like approached by a person, or is he like on? Does he have some AIM app, on his phone where he picks up illegal jobs or something? Like, how do you want to, as a GM, have that be? Is he crawling on the dark web looking for jobs?
No, he was
up?
contacted out of the blue
okay.
for it, and the money was too good. It was like $50,000 to come out
What?
here, yeah, and figure out what happened out here. What are the
Even to my old crotchety guy, that seems like outlandish amount of money. Like that's the amount of money you'd pay to get someone killed.
maybe.
So why would he? Does any of that make sense? Does it? So he's a cop, so he's probably pretty smart. Does he have an idea why someone like him, so unrelated, would be paid so much money to just look around?
He's nervous about it. He's supposed to take pictures. He's supposed to document everything. If there's something out of the ordinary, say like robots, he's supposed to immediately after leaving the area make a call to a number that he has in his phone. He's supposed to collect anything that is freely accessible that he could grab and take away from there.
So this might be a sort of like a corp job.
Maybe.
Potentially, right? And since he's third party, they wouldn't be able to say, oh, Apple stole all this, right? Or
Right.
Cyberdyne Systems stole all this robot tech. And is shepherding in the end of the world.
So how much of this you're relaying to Caius?
All of that.
All right.
Again, Zen is a super happy, very social person. Like, he loves chatting with people, hanging out with them, just being happy together.
Caius without saying a word again. Like, this guy's gonna think Caius is weird because he's just staring at him, not
You
saying
know.
anything.
Yeah, he's
But
a bit nervous. He's definitely nervous, especially Zen. He thinks you guys are a very odd couple, right? To be
Zen
out
makes
here.
small talk.
Yeah.
So he'll think back to Zen. Well, who's on the other end of that number? Perhaps we should have him call it and figure out who it is.
It's possible.
You want me to ask him, and then you can read his mind of the conversation he's having.
Oh, he doesn't know who's on the other side.
True. Now here begs the question about Zen's powers. Since he's hearing the voice on the other end of the line, would Zen be able to hear that voice as well?
Well, it's in his mind. It gets processed by his brain.
Yeah, I would say. So, I would say so. Yeah.
So Caius finally breaks his silence staring at the guy and actually tells him, yes, there's robots outside. Perhaps you ought to call that number that's in your phone.
Well, I'm supposed to leave the area before I do any of that stuff. Sorry, there's a lot riding on this for me. Why I came out here. How did you know that? How did you know I'm? He's looking at you very, very strangely.
Zen is like, well, how else would you contact this person that hired you?
Well, he never told you that he was hired by anybody. You read his mind to find that out. So he's like, what do you mean? I'm here investigating a crime scene.
That's why Caius told him, right? So
Right.
that way to know that we know.
Yeah, he
Well,
is freaking
I'll
out.
tell Caius the number, because if he's seen the number, it's in his mind, it's in his memory, and I'll just tell Caius. Hoping that Caius has better memory than me.
Do you have down to subconscious thought? Because he probably
absolutely.
wouldn't. Yeah,
I
he
have
wouldn't.
absolutely maxed it out.
Yeah, he wouldn't remember that like normally, right? But
Yeah, I bought every point in that skill that is possible to buy.
yeah.
Caius would kind of look, well, pretty much you're out of the area. I would just call them. I'm interested to see what would happen.
Well, how do you know any of this? I don't understand.
Oh, don't worry about it. We are well connected.
Well connected? Don't. Okay. Well, I'm gonna do some more looking around. Please don't touch anything. Actually, this is a crime scene. You guys should probably leave.
Are we near LA? Like, would he have jurisdiction here?
Boy, that is. Give me a streetwise to see if you know that.
We're in California, at least.
Oh yeah, you're in California. You're basically outside.
To me as a player, I've just forgotten where we are. Sorry.
Yeah. No, you're fine. You're outside the town somewhere.
It could
I think I
fall
said
under the
San
south.
Bernardino Forest or something like that. I don't remember.
Yeah.
That's a
Is
different
it-
county.
If it's a county, but if it's a forest, it might be a state forest, which means you still wouldn't have jurisdiction.
Yeah, maybe, but you might not know that.
True.
Well, I'm not sure, and I'm like, oh, of course.
What is Streetwise under here?
It's
It's
under
social.
empathy, I think.
Yeah, it's on the right side under empathy.
I guess it would be mental.
Social.
Is it social?
Mm-hmm.
If Zen was more interested in, worldly
Okay.
things, we might actually be like, no, we want all this cool tech, but he really isn't. And I think Nora's Kaios, we are a weird couple,
Yeah.
because we're
Yeah.
both not really like normal people.
And we're both streetwise smart here.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you don't know. You think he has authority over this area as a
Yeah.
police
But
officer?
we
at
are-
least.
Don't worry about
But
it.
we already know he's not there in his official
Oh
capacity.
yeah, you know that for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
We do, but live and let live. Kaios is sort of in your mind. He's like laughing. Is like, he feels so powerful. Maybe let him have that illusion.
Caius would smile. Are you gonna? And Caius is more. He's gonna reemphasize. When are you gonna call that number? And he kind of like says it with the board.
Don't know what you're talking
Irritated.
about, sir. He's very nervous inwardly and outwardly, right? Please, just let's move back, okay? I don't want anyone to get hurt or anything.
Sure, I'll keep walking the house. I'll say, of course, I'll see you around.
Where are you going, sir? Please, exit the house, okay?
We're not gonna leave until we're finished looking.
Uh,
Now let's be friends and work together, please.
what are you guys
Look, you can
doing here?
And he'll won't use his thought for this, but talk out loud.
Mm.
I'm being friendly, Zen.
Then
Okay.
Zen walks back and sort of like talks across Sewell?
See
Sewell? I don't know. Sewell. There you go. Sewell and says, I appreciate you being so patient with this enforcer of the law, Caius. Commendable. Now,
He's very confused.
hmm
Okay, great. You're not actually being that, you're not following my directions. I'm asking you to leave the house, please. For your safety, sir.
Yes, of course. But, give an old man just a minute. And then he sort of like pretends to be like old and hobbly. And
Caius
sort of
would
walks his way up into this.
Okay,
this room
do you need
and
some
then starts
help?
walking.
Caius would start levitating off the ground.
Oh shit! Oh shit!
Yeah, he just like, and he runs, books it this way, like out. This is not worth it, he says.
You're not going to help me?
You better
As
call
well-
that number.
Holds his his arm up as if he needed help. He's like, okay,
Yeah,
and then
he
starts
races
slowly
out of there.
walking out and sort of goes out, leans maybe on the veranda or whatever, you know, the railing,
Mhm.
and then
Yeah,
looks
sure.
left and right to sort of see all the scorch marks and carnage.
Caius would make his way to Zen. Can you still... Because he's running away, right?
Yes.
Caius would look at Zen. Would you be able to hear him call that number?
Ooh, let me see. My mind control breaks at 10 units, which is I think pretty far.
Yeah, we're out of combat. Yeah, I mean, he. Yeah, I mean, it would be. You know, he runs this way. You
Yeah. I
notice
have
there's
30
no.
I have 35 minutes and 10 units of distance, so I think I can keep control. Not sorry, that was mind control. I'm sorry, I'm looking
Yeah.
at telepathy instead. Telepathy. The distance is 50 feet. Duration is a whole scene, so whatever the GM thinks is useful.
Yeah, we're still in the same scene. He is leaving, but as he does, you guys see he kind of rushes by these two, and he just looks at them, and he's like, he doesn't really say anything. And there's these one small kid and one like I don't know, mid-20s, maybe even a little late. Maybe she's his mom. It could be. But you see him walk up, and they're like, "Oh, what is this?" And they seem very like taken aback.
Zen, if Caius is still floating, Zen will look over and say something of a power hidden is more powerful than a power revealed.
Yeah, Caius would get what he's saying. Land. And then he'll look over
You
at
get
Zen.
a nod from Zen, and he sort of smiles amicably and then starts walking down towards them, picking his way past the stuff.
Yeah, Zen will make Caius will make sure to think to himself for Zen. Perhaps we should keep pace with the officer there, so that way when he calls that number, we'd be able to hear it. But I don't know if he's going to actually call it after this.
He will whisper back, you think someone related to this? It isn't just a scavenge job, it could be someone related.
But even if it is just a scavenging job, he'd think to himself, it'd be good to know of all parties involved, I would think.
Excuse me, the older woman says, that was very strange. She dropped this, and she picks up this phone and kind of waves it. It's a flip phone, right? And she's like, I guess it's like a flip phone, looks like.
Ah, yes. Would you mind returning it to me, please?
Sure.
What an unpleasant fella.
Oh, police officers, they can be sometimes.
Yes. Now, you are a fellow hiker like me?
Yeah. My name's Susan.
Ah,
This is,
what a pleasure to meet you.
This is my nephew, Tommy.
Ah, hey, Tommy, he says with a nice amicable smile. My name is Zen, and this here is Kaios. I am
Ah.
not sure that it is safe here. There seems to have been some crime.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. We were just on a hike, parked a couple miles away, just for getting out into nature, away from the smog of the city. And as she says that, you hear this kind
Is that a
of.
helicopter or a car?
It sounds like a plane of some sort.
Maybe a drone?
Maybe. You look up and you do see this outline in the very, very, very distance. Can you give me a let's do another perception roll. Why not? Been popular
Oh,
today.
yeah, yeah. Can't always roll them high.
Maybe.
30.
That's not that high.
That's what I'm saying. I can't
Yeah.
always roll them high on that skill.
What is that one? Let's see. 35. I think. Yeah. You're not sure what it is at this point.
Yeah, I'm like, again, I'll tell her, Sarah, a person has passed away just over there in the car, and I don't think it would be appropriate for Tommy
Oh,
to see such things. Would you mind turning around and hiking somewhere else?
sure,
please?
sure. Maybe we should just go back. I don't know.
Thank you.
You guys, go ahead, Caius.
Oh, Caius would be like, yes, and because he's noticing drone. We can't really make out much about it, but he'd mention, yes, and please don't take your time. As he's eyeballing this thing flying.
Yeah, as you see it kind of getting closer, you
Yeah,
think?
I'm trying to make them go away so that we can teleport out.
Yeah, they're looking, and you see as you're looking up, it's not one thing, it's now four things, and it's getting closer and closer. And as you it takes a minute
We'll
to
hide, by the way.
kind of see. Yeah, you can hide. That's fine.
We will hide by just leaving.
There's four of these small projectiles coming in quickly.
Oh, that's... Now you can use your laser eyes.
Hey, I don't got those
Hey,
yet.
I got
But
Caius is good.
you could lob the people at the missiles.
Plan C. Caius is gonna look at Zen and
Time to leave.
perhaps they can use your help leaving faster.
Oh, because we don't know what the yield will be. That's true.
Yes. And Caius will actually look up. He's gonna fly up.
Mm-hmm.
He's counting on Zen to get him away from the blast radius by,
He will say, I can only take one.
Oh shoot.
And then Zen will teleport up to Tommy, hold on to Tommy, and then just teleport further into the forest.
Yeah.
So that he's the longest range he can.
Yep.
At that point, Caius was gonna fly up to engage one of the missiles to try to make it hit the other ones, but hearing that, he's gonna turn and look at the Susie was her name, right?
Sarah?
Yeah.
Sarah. There we go.
I don't remember.
You know?
NPC Hiker 1.
Exactly. He's gonna look at the generic Hiker 1, and he's gonna fly at her and scoop her up, and then fly up and away.
Okay, so let's do this. Zen, go ahead and roll teleport roll, just because this could matter, I suppose.
Maybe physical... I think physical is shape. Nope, it's not. Power menu. Much better. Shape. Target? I don't know. Me?
Yeah, just say no target when it...
No, literally, it starts with choose target.
I know, you can choose a target, then I'll ask you if you have a target later.
Got it.
It's for when you have to target something.
Yeah, contested, right?
Yeah.
And then can I use a fate point?
Spend one, sure. So
Yeah,
give
just to
yourself,
make sure
give
that the
yourself
kid gets saved.
Yeah, you can use a benefit, sure.
Yeah, sorry, that's what I meant.
Yeah, that's the same thing, yeah.
Target
You only have 6 of them, so...
well, gotta use them sometime.
Absolutely.
Is that good enough?
That is good enough, sure.
Okay.
Yeah, you grab him and zip, you're out, and then you pop into existence back into in the forest somewhere, and the kid's like, "Holy shit!" And at that, the scene switches to Caius. What are you doing?
He's gonna fly down, scoop her up, and then fly up and away from the area in some general direction, because he doesn't know where Zen exactly teleported,
Right.
but he knows he has to get away with this human.
You grab her and start flying. One thing you notice is these missiles begin to turn and accelerate towards you, as they are some sort of seeker missiles.
Hell.
So
Yeah,
you have 4 missiles bearing down on you.
and a human in my arms too. He will think to himself. Hopefully, Zen can hear him and tell him that these missiles are flying at him. He'll get out and
It's further than 50 feet, so I can't hear you anymore. Telepathy breaks after 50 feet, and I teleported 1,100.
All right. So now that he sees that he's following them, is he able to keep like some type of distance away
Let's
from them?
find out. Go ahead and roll me athletics.
All right, because he's not trying to go fast because the unguarded hiker, right?
Whatever you're trying to do to stay away, either athletics or acrobatics, whichever you would like.
All right, 'cause he's just trying to make sure if he maybe has enough distance to land, drop her off, and fly back up.
We'll see.
All right, we'll go with athletics.
Maybe you'll just have to chuck her. Just chuck her as high as you can, and then hope that Zen picks her up in mid-air.
We're gonna go to the boys level now. We're gonna sink even lower. We got any? I don't think I got anything to do with any benefits for strength. Just straight strength, right? Like, I'm not punching her away.
You punch her out of the way.
I'm gonna have to. It's gonna be my resortment soon. It's gonna be like I'm just gonna punch everything.
When you're probably tied to her and just flying around like a crazy person.
I'm gonna say it's hard.
I got zigzag.
I think that's cool. I would give you a +6. Give it +6 for that. I like that.
All right, because it does say -6 for combat.
Yeah,
targeting,
+6.
right?
That's the same thing. Yep.
All right.
A squirrely one. It's nice.
Oh yeah, yeah. So explain how you're kind of weaving in and out. However, you're keeping away from these things just yet.
He's flying. He went up high. Seen him start falling, so he went low, and he's weaving around trees, trying to disrupt his signature, right? And he's looking for a spot where he can just dump the hiker real fast and hit the sky again, because he knows he's gonna have to turn around. He might not be able to outfly him, so he wants to be able to turn around and try to engage 1 or 2 of the missiles to make it take out the other one somehow, right? So what he's looking for as he's flying through and around trees, trying to keep the hiker safe, like he's got his head down, kind of looking forward, but enough that like if they hit something, it's only hitting him, right? And he's looking for a soft spot to pet her, or a lake to drop her off into, or just a clearing.
I
right?
think I you know what? You can spend a fate point to make a minor change to a scene. You could dump her in a pond or a lake or something with a spend of a fate point. Sure.
Water
Yes.
reservoir, right? It's California.
So yeah, he'll
Yes,
definitely
reservoir.
spend a fate point.
Okay.
Nice.
I'm
Yep.
not sure.
So there's a reservoir or something, some sort of body of water out into the forest. You can plop her down. She is just like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh.
Caius will actually ask her before he drops her in the middle of the lake, can you swim?
Yes.
Okay, I want you to hit this water, and I want you to yell for Zen in your mind really loud. And he'll
What?
drop her in the water.
Drop her in the water and splashes
Yeah.
as these things are chasing you. Okay, I'm gonna do a. Do they keep going after you or do they turn? Let's see. 1d3. 1, they turn after her. So you drop her in the water, and at least 2 of the missiles breaks off and suddenly, like, careens down towards the water where you dropped her.
Caius is if he has time and notices it, he's gonna turn around to fly into the missile,
You're just gonna just ram it.
ram it.
Okay. You can
I got-
you can definitely explode both missiles.
He's leading with his hands in case he wants to count as a punch.
Oh no, we're gonna count it as against your base defense.
Okay.
All right, so these are rank 5. So 8d10 keep 5. 38. Two. Oh yeah, 2 of those explode.
Oh man.
Huh? What's the 2d10?
They're exploding.
Yeah, they exploded.
Could be-
Oh, okay.
48.
Exploding dice, not rockets.
52,
Got it.
59. What's your base defense?
34.
That's pretty good.
Close.
59. Would you say 34?
Yep.
34
You
plus
know that's double of Zen.
8. 5. Yeah, 5, 3. So you take 33. That's a wound.
But let's see what armor. I got armor, right?
Oh yeah, other armor.
Yeah. Or maybe not. I didn't none down. I thought I took mesh weave. I guess mesh weave doesn't do nothing, huh?
Mesh weave should do. Yeah, mesh weave should. 8 other. Yeah, you have 8 other. I'm looking at it.
Oh, do you? Okay.
Yeah.
So
So it's actually 25. So that's still a wound.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it explodes and just boom knocks you back, and then the other one hits you. Okay. So here we go. Actually, on this one, I'll give you. So you're knocked back. You fly as it hits you. Go ahead and give me a athletics roll to try to do something with this other missile. What would you do? Would you grab it? What would you do to try to?
yeah, because they usually missiles don't like blow up on contact. They blow up right before contact. So
Yep.
he at that point would, if he's flying, he would cover himself, right? Like well, I mean, because it's gonna do the same, right?
You can
There's
go
no-
ahead and you can do a dodge then, if that's the way you want to take it. That's fine.
Well, no, because he doesn't want this thing messing him and flying into the
Okay.
lake. at
Okay.
sea, right?
Yeah. Okay.
So
Yeah. So you're trying to get hit, but how do
so
you?
he at this point,
Block
like
it.
he's just gonna turn at it because he's gonna get hit regardless, right? So he's just gonna turn at it and brace for the impact.
All right. Well,
you
then
know?
that's the same thing then. Base defense.
Yep, taking it like a champ.
All right. Roll 8d10, keep 5. 8d10, keep 5. Boom, boom. Okay, so that's really 42. Your base defense was what, 35?
Base defense 34
34.
plus 8 other.
Yeah, so let's see. 42 minus 34 minus 8 plus 8. Alright, that one doesn't hurt you somehow. How does that look as you get rid of these 2 missiles?
So as he's standing there and he sees he got hit by the ones and he's able to turn and he sees the other one coming at him and he just kind of puts his chest out, right? And you know, just hopes that, you know, for some reason like it doesn't hurt him as bad as the other one,
Mhm.
other 2, because he took on 2, right?
Yeah, that's
So-
weird that roll did not give you a hardship.
So he'll hold and just let the blast hit him. And then once the blast is over, you know,
That one did. I don't know. That was weird. Okay.
that's supposed to get it with the wound.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know what the other one. Did you roll that from your sheet or from your menu?
It would have been from the menu.
That should be the same roll. I don't know what happened. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, it wouldn't
Oh.
have mattered anyway. But
I didn't roll it, right? Did I roll it?
oh,
you just
that's
had-
right. Oh, yeah, it
Yeah.
was base defense. That's right. Never mind.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Cool. Yeah.
And then once the fireball and blast clears, he'll kind of like look at himself for a second and see how bad, if anything, it is.
Yeah,
right?
you have like this. The second one didn't hurt you. You're able to avoid that one, but the first one just like scorched your body. You're hurting from that one. Zen, in the distance, you see 2 explosions go off in the air, and you see 2 of those, you know, images kind of flying towards a third image that's zipping around.
Okay. I'll tell Tommy. I'll call Sarah. I'll try to save her, and then I'll teleport towards the explosion.
Into the air or on the ground?
Oh, into the air.
Yeah. Yeah, you are able
'Cause
to.
I can actually fly. In the direction of the Earth's core. So straight down is
Yeah.
the direction I can fly.
Yeah, that's true.
So as long as I
Yeah.
teleport again before I
Right.
crash, impact, I'm okay.
Yeah. Go ahead and give me a teleport roll.
Oh. Yep. But, yeah, shape myself. Beep, 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 beep.
Yeah, you're able to teleport up there, and you're right next to Caius, and is just pretty soon after the explosion. You see Caius kind of floating back as he's rocked by this, as you hang in the air for 1 second, as there's 2 more missiles flying towards you.
Oh, so the missiles are coming at us.
Yeah, in your general direction.
Yeah. Before Zen falls, I guess, he would think, because he might not have enough time to get it out in words because there's so much going on. He'll be like, I dropped the hiker in the lake, and he'll turn towards the other missiles.
Okay.
Would Zen be able to survive? Well, yeah, he's got ways, right?
Well, he could just teleport again on the ground,
Yeah.
and then falling stops.
Then the flying stops.
Yeah, then exactly. Sorry, yeah.
Yeah, no, you never
stop my
fall.
flying.
Come on.
I can stop my flying 2 ways, by hitting the ground or by teleporting.
So you do notice as Zen kind of begins to go towards the ground, fly down, if you will. The missiles split. One's going towards Zen, and now one's going towards Caius.
He's gonna fly at the missile that's going towards Zen. Well, no, he's not gonna fly at the missile that's going towards Zen because that's gonna hit Lake if Zen's quick enough. I mean, he'll fly at the missile going towards Zen, not knowing how fast Zen can get her and get out. So he's doing what he did with before.
Okay, fly. Okay, let's do it again then.
I mean, now if it's
that's
not,
a terrible one. That's not gonna hurt you. Yeah, that one explodes.
Poof.
and then he'll turn at the one that's coming at him.
Okay. All right.
Sticks his. Well, no. Now he's gonna fly. He's gonna start trying to. Now that there's no threat and it's engaged on him, he's gonna try to fly. Up or down and past it. Right.
Okay.
But he doesn't want to get too close where it explodes.
Give me an athletics roll versus it then.
All right. Because now he's gonna try to actually defeat it without taking the hit.
Yeah.
I'll help you when it's my time. At least I'll try.
I mean, you can do something now if you want.
Yeah, if you could do something.
Yeah, I'll teleport down to the ground near a tree, and my intention is to just teleport a tree in front of it.
Yeah, go ahead and roll teleport. That's a good idea. Let's see.
Yeah. Just put something up that it will.
Yeah,
have to
I'll
crash
give him a
into.
couple benefits or something if it works, which it should. I'll say this one's I'll say it's hard, so you got to get a 37.
Nope.
No. Yeah,
So
you
a
do.
tree appears somewhere in the air.
Yeah, just like over the pond and just like poof, into the water. Okay, go ahead and give me an athletics roll there, Caius.
It was worth the shot.
Or acrobatics, whichever. Or actually, I would say dodge is probably
Dodge?
good. Yeah, you're gonna get a +6 for zooming around here too. So
Yeah, and dodge fits this time because now he doesn't care. Well, he knows it might turn at him, but he doesn't know where Zen took him. So at this point, he's just trying to get it to blow up without hitting him.
Mhm.
+6, you said?
Yeah, for zigzag. Let's see. Yep. Yeah. So you're flying, and how do you make it like hit a tree or basically explodes?
So once the missile's coming at him and he sees a tree up here below him, he's actually gives him an idea as the tree starts falling towards the lake or whatever. He's gonna fly to the tree and through the tree, like the branches, right? Because that's what he teleported up there, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
And then he's gonna do what he's originally said. He was gonna start flying back at it, but at a different distance like it's he's gonna be above, below it, or to the left or to the right, and then fly back at it. So if it's gonna try to get him, it's gonna have to do a turn. But most times, not knowing the technology, Caius would just assume it's like anything else that has a guidance on it. That once it's lost, it just keeps going, and then fly past it, and then watch it as it tumbles into the lake. I guess.
Yeah.
Would that work?
Yeah.
All right. And then he'll stop and look in the air for some more, like he's scanning the horizon, standing there in midair.
Yeah, you don't see anything else.
Meanwhile, I'll grab Sarah and teleport her to Tommy. So
Yeah,
that
she's on top of the water, like doggy paddling, and you're able to just teleport her quickly over to where Tommy is. Caius,
She'll still be wet, and I'll still be wet, but whatever.
right. Caius, go ahead and flip to your wounds tab and go ahead and click on torso effects
Okay.
and pick the moderate one, the middle one. See what happens here.
Torso effects, and what am I clicking?
You
the
click
effects?
moderate.
All right, torso effect. And it says no root effect.
Oh, yep.
All right.
So you're able to shake off the wound, no problem.
Yeah.
Oh, does that mean he just healed? He doesn't have a wound anymore?
Yep, that's correct. Yep, because your
Oh, so I thought
wound
that-
hardships convert to actual wounds, and we just did it real quick. And
Nice.
yeah,
So then he'll kind of look around now as he sees nothing else flying at him. He'll try to ascertain which way Zen teleported the two hikers. Because he can't, he doesn't know where they went off to.
you hear some maybe some yelling from the hikers.
Yeah, so Caius will start flying that way
Yeah,
and land by them.
nice. Otherwise, I would have to start teleporting bushes into the midair,
We're here.
Like-
we're here.
like little
SOS.
flares.
Yeah.
Caius would land and kind of fix his hair a little bit and look at Zen. Not even thinking. I mean, he'll think it, but he's going to say out loud, well, I wonder what that was all about.
Yes, and who sent them?
And then he'll look at the two hikers. Are you two all right?
They both look at each other and they're like, the kid is like, holy shit again. And that was crazy. And she doesn't even say anything about his foul language. She's just like, oh my gosh. And he's like, wow, you guys are real superheroes.
Yes, I guess that's what the people would call us.
There were missiles and you saved us. I can't wait to tell everybody.
And Caius kind of smile.
He's
Oh,
like, can I get a selfie with you guys?
I think Zen has nothing against that. Caius, I don't know. Zen says, of course.
And Caius, he wouldn't. He doesn't even really know what it is. He just knows that Amplify and stuff like that use them. And I suppose it'd be all right.
Cool. And he walks over and gets in front of you and like over his shoulder gives the a couple clicks with his phone. He's like, this is so cool. I can't wait to post it up on Twitter.
And says, now, if you're okay, I'll get some dry clothes. And he laughs. Ha 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 ha.
Yeah. Caius would look at both of them again. Do you two need further assistance getting to your car?
I don't have. Where the heck are we? Like, they're not exactly sure. It's like, we can probably figure it out, I think.
No, I'd rather not leave you to wander looking for your car. I don't know what else is out here. And he'll look at Zen and be like, do you know which way the parking lot is from here?
Yes, because he did the teleport.
Yeah,
He knows in what
absolutely.
direction he teleported.
Yeah, you could get
but
him back.
Not to mention, he can just tell them if you open your digital device and look for Google Maps, the GPS signal will show you where you are now.
Yeah, I do have service. That's true. Yeah,
If you'd like me to help you get back to your car, that can be arranged.
yeah. The woman is a bit flabbergasted. She's like, Tommy's like, wow, no, we don't need that. We can hike. We're out here to hike. This is so cool. And he looks back down at his phone. He's messing with it. He's seen typing in something. He's like, oh, this is already blowing up. The retweets are off the hook.
And then he'll walk over to Tommy and say, listen, Tommy, and remember this: if you can't be a star in the sky, you can still be a lamp in your house. And then he taps him on the shoulder, all knowingly, and then turns around and walks up to Chaos.
It's like, what the hell? It's like, what does that mean?
Yeah, Caius.
You'll figure it out.
Caius has no words of wisdom because he doesn't, he's not the only thing he probably know.
He's like, I think I got that in my fortune cookie once.
Well, if you run into trouble on the way to your car, we'll be here for a while. Just go ahead and scream. We'll come and save you. And he'll give a little smile because, that's the appropriate thing to do.
Sure. What are your names, by the way? I tweeted, I didn't even ask.
He says, I am Hash Brown Zen.
Hash brown.
No,
Zen.
that's not right. Hashtag Zen? That sounds better.
Oh, your hand. Okay, gotcha. Yes, cool. What about you, big guy?
They call me Caius.
Do you have Twitter?
No, I do not.
Insta?
I don't even have a phone, kid.
You don't have a phone. You're pretty tough to not have a phone.
Why would I need a phone?
To get on social media?
Zen very wisely will say, for GPS.
Yeah, GPS? Yeah, all kinds of reasons,
I've come to see that if you rely on it, there's times where it'll fail you, and and the worst will happen.
Snapchat?
Wise words.
I mean, there's a lot of good things. He looks over to his aunt. Anyway, we're gonna head out. Let's go. And she's looking very pale, and she just nods and begins to walk with him. I can't believe they saved us from missiles. Nobody's gonna believe it.
Do we have any sort of contacts, like government contacts, who would have picked up missiles on a radar that we could ask where they came from?
Maybe I mean, your main government contact is TK Masters, and you are avoiding him right now.
Currently, yeah.
I was to say we're off the reservation a little bit.
The meeting was supposed to go too late, at some point with Sadie, isn't until sometime?
That would be the next day, I think, is what was discussed. So if you have anything else, you could basically just we can narrate the rest of the day if you just want to move ahead, or if you have specific things you want to do, we can do that.
Yeah, Zen would like to, get maybe get dry clothes. Actually, if the weather isn't bad, the clothes will dry.
Yeah.
Ooh, did we just lose someone? No,
No,
we're all still here. Okay.
Yeah.
Because I heard the boom for someone dropping.
unless someone was listening to us.
The
It's
rogue,
possible.
I think.
Spies, probably. He would look at Caius and say, flying with you will probably dry these clothes pretty quickly.
Well, where should we fly to?
He says, I know a nice falafel place up in the marina area if you are hungry.
Well, point the way, and he'll kind of let Zen, I guess, jump on his back.
Yep. And then we can do telepathy whispers communication, and we can sort of talk about what just happened while we fly over, and that should totally dry his beard and hair and
Sure.
clothes out while we fly.
Caius would make it a point to fly by the the hikers to kind of make sure they got to where they're going.
Yeah, we can hang out there for a while. in
Yeah,
the
you,
air.
you fly overhead, and you see Tommy looks up and he's waving as they're going back to their car.
All right. It looks kind of safe for them to make it to the car and
Yeah, it
whatnot.
looks fine, yeah.
All right.
I'll try to memorize where in the distance from the house we saw the missiles come from. That gives us a direction.
Yeah, it was above you, right? So it sounded like a plane dropped them, perhaps.
Oh, interesting. So planes would definitely show up on radar.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, when we get to the falafel house, we can make a phone call. of some
People
type.
ask you, are you good with technology? I feel the urge to maybe take some of the robot technology with, but I don't know if it can be tracked.
That I couldn't tell you. That is something, and you know, we would have tracers and something of ours I would remember, but here probably not.
How about we secure some and hide it in the forest?
As they're flying through the air, as that Caius would turn back, that's probably a great idea. And
At
he'll,
least it's not with us, but we would know where it is if we need it.
yeah. So Caius would fly down with Zen on his back, grab one of the destroyers, and take it with him to the city. He'll look for like a high rise to set the robot remains
Oh, no, no,
on.
no, no, no.
Or-
Zen would be very particular about leaving it somewhere in the forest in case missiles can be directed at it. Because
Oh,
he
gotcha.
doesn't want the city to get destroyed.
They'll fly over the lake. How about down into the lake?
I'm not sure how it is on your planet, but water is very bad for technology here.
Uh,
I don't mind digging. It's a fun activity. Especially if you have, and he sort of looks at you, super strength.
all right. I guess we can fly, and he'll fly to a spot that kind of has a little bit of a clearing,
Yeah, something we can find again if we need it to.
Mm-hmm.
and
And then we'll bury one of the destroyer wrecks there.
Caius would look. Are we digging with our hands?
What would you like to dig with, my friend?
Usually there's a tool, like a
Sure.
stick or something metal.
Interesting.
You don't have shovels, so...
Yeah,
No.
we'll
I
find Caius.
remember...
Caius will find a log, something that was
Yeah,
sturdy.
exactly, right?
Yeah.
Something that's sturdy.
Break it off a tree.
I mean, technically, I look at the robot wreck. Maybe the robot wreck is strong enough to dig its own hole,
Dig its own grave. Yeah, you could do that.
right? It's probably pretty sturdy anyway, and if it has like limbs or anything bent, like metal pieces, I can probably use those to dig a hole.
Yeah, you can dig a hole. You dig a hole and bury the destroyer. You have the coordinates for it.
Yep.
And you can
Yeah.
figure out where if you need that again. If you want to come and check it out again, you have the opportunity to do so. So
And Caius at this point would go to the lake and jump in it, kind of actually fly through it to kind of wash the dirt off him and fly back out. All right, and he'll fix his hair again. Now to the falafel house, whatever falafel is. I am kind of hungry.
It is
You-
very tasty.
Well, I hope so. Your food here is kind of bland.
Oh. Do you require more...
Flavor?
Spice? Oh, it's flavor. It isn't sweetness or sourness or bitterness.
I
What is
I don't-
traditionally more flavorful for you?
I don't know about here. I don't know what they have here to use. We'll figure it out, I'm sure.
Yes, we can definitely try a variety of ingredients and see what you would consider to be more flavorful.
Well, all right then. To the falafel house. And he'll fly up with Zen again. Now he's soaking wet, but of course will dry off and he'll make his
Yep.
way to whoever Zen points out.
Yeah.
yeah, you fly over to the falafel house that Zen had in mind. It's a pretty standard day. Seems nothing. It's getting late. I would say it's probably 6 p.m. by the time you get there. So you can do whatever you want for the rest of the night, or we can just move to the next day.
Yeah, I guess we'd...
They'd socialize. He would definitely start Googling the three other supers and see if those are findable, searchable on the internet? And if you find something, show it to Kaios, and then they have
That is a good
discussion about it.
question. Let's find out. The way I've been doing this is I've been rolling status for them or looking at their status. There's no way Wraith would be, I don't think.
For example, if they're employed at any agency, they would probably come up at some Super's roster,
Yeah.
Otherwise, they might have, social, as you said, social media accounts, or even on LinkedIn.
Right.
Super's in. Sorry, I meant Super's in.
Yeah. So none of them. They're all fairly. Let me click. Let me just figure it out here. Nope.
Say Madison or Vinegar to me would be the ones that would be to pop out somewhere along the line.
Well, Madison is keeps herself hidden on purpose.
True, and we failed our streetwise, so it's not like we know the streets.
Yeah, it would be a status. Yeah, no, they actually don't. They do not. Because you don't necessarily. You're wondering. First of all, their nicknames. They don't come up, and Madison. It was just a first name, so you're unsure, what that means. It's not going to be searchable, so you don't really get any hits off them. So they're not known supers.
That's interesting to us as well. Yeah, Zen would ask, Kaios, would you prefer we stay under the incognito until we meet Sadie, or would you like to report back in with TK Masters and inquire about the missiles?
I think I'd rather wait to find out about the missiles from TK. Sadie seems smart. Maybe she'll be able to tell us something about the missiles as well.
Hey, that works for me.
I'm
Would
not
you like the falafel? Try some of the hot sauce and tell me if that makes it better.
Caius grabs the hot sauce. It's in a bottle, and he kind of just dumps it in his mouth, thinking it's like a drink or whatever. It doesn't really. It tastes a little better.
There's somebody next to you, and they just look at you as you dump the hot sauce in your mouth.
Maybe it's not spice then that you crave. We'll find out.
I imagine there's something here that's the equivalent of what I would eat at home, but...
He gets you a lemonade and says, what about sour?
You'll take a drink. Oh, this is pretty good. It's refreshing.
Sweet and sour, noted.
Well, it doesn't really taste sweet or sour to me. It's just... feels good, I guess you could say.
It's a lemonade.
Made
from a local fruit called lemon and sugar.
I'll have to get some more of this lemonade.
It is ubiquitous, fortunately.
Yes. Well, it is trying to learn a whole new type of cuisine here. Takes another bite of falafel.
Yeah, and Zen is maybe peculiar, maybe it's not, but Zen manages somehow never to make you feel inadequate or weird about not knowing something. He's just like the nicest guy, always pays full attention to what you say, tries to sort of anticipate what your needs are, and just sort of... It's just nice. He's just really friendly and nice.
Well, now about this meeting, I don't know what we're getting into.
Half of the joy of life is surprises.
Yes. Well, look over at Zen. I like you, Zen. I'd rather not see a missile hit you.
I agree. I'd rather not see a missile hit myself as well. And then he laughs and takes another bite of the falafel.
Well, I think we need to keep our sense about this with this one. If missiles were flying at a compound they once owned, somebody is flying them, so to speak.
Undoubtedly, we should find out if it was the robot owners, or Resist the Darkness, or someone else. But I'd be surprised if Resist the Darkness had that level of technology. I believe these missiles must have been launched from some sort of plane.
Yes, and who controls the planes?
People with money or governments usually in the US.
Hmm. Yes, very peculiar that we're sent to look at something and missiles come at us.
Well, while I shudder to think that to be the truth, there's a possibility that us going off TK Master's radar meant they immediately decided we were switching sides and tried to take us out.
Hmm.
But you did notice the missiles did not only fly at us.
No, I'm assuming they're a primitive guidance of some sort.
A shame we don't have a picture or some pieces.
Well, I wouldn't be able to make heads or tails from the pieces. Picture maybe.
Resistant Darkness might have.
This is true.
Perhaps. Do you have a place where you can rest? I'm getting tired. This food is good.
The only place I've been resting is back at the agency.
Oh. Well,
And he
You
looks
can-
around.
You're talking about
my place,
Arcadius,
right?
right?
Yeah,
that's
that's
different.
from
Yeah, that's not
Arcadius.
the agency. Yeah.
Yeah, Arcadius. But he looks around, he's like, but there's all these buildings here. I'm sure there's one that's empty.
Oh.
And Caius would get up and...
Homeless Superman? Is that what's happening?
What's that?
Homeless Superman?
Yeah. Kind of, he'll open a few doors to see if there's anything inside. If it's empty, he'll... Well, yeah, he'll tell Zen. This seems like a good spot.
Zen says, I'll make my happiness my bed. No problem.
Not sure if we set off any alarms by doing so. Caius wouldn't even be thinking about that. That's
I mean,
a lot.
if it's a dilapidated building, probably not.
Yeah.
Zen would look around. Maybe not.
Yeah, he wouldn't even be thinking that. Caius would be just looking for a spot to kind of sit down at, and finish his last bite of the falafel and drink his last little bit of lemonade. She'll be sleeping shifts.
He says, I'd rather not. Listen. And then is there maybe... This is the California coast, right?
Yep.
What if there's... What if Zen pulls out his phone and finds some old lighthouse?
Sure.
Like up the Pacific Coast Highway or whatever, right?
That's fine.
That's probably like closed off, and then sort of points at that and says, I'm sure we could sleep in there safely and nobody would find us.
Ah, perfect.
Let's go. And then he just starts a quick series of 1,100 feet teleports in that direction. I mean, or because it's story time,
Mhm.
we make our way there.
Yeah, I'm not gonna make you roll for repeated uses of.
Yeah, I mean, there's no benefit currently.
Yeah,
I'm not gaining anything other than...
Yeah,
I
and
just
that's exactly kind of the way I was envisioning it, right? If there's no mechanical benefit to doing it, it's not like, oh, I need to get miles and miles and miles here quickly to stop something
No.
or do something, right? This is just completely the story time, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So eventually, I guess the scene is inside that old lighthouse, and we just appear. We literally just appear inside of it, which means nobody saw us arriving either, which is nice.
Yeah, give me a second and I'll, it's
And
nice-
then we'll just sleep. I'm not gonna have a long scene here either. It's just something I wanted to avoid having to sleep in shifts because he's an old man. He likes his sleep.
Mhm. Give me a second. It's nice to have alternate bases and stuff like that too. It's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Fair.
And Caius, of course, would go to the top and kind of lay back and watch the stars.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like Morro Beach. I don't recall. Somewhere up the one. I'm sure there's some.
You would know much better than I would. Okay, so let me do this. This is kind of a temporary thing, but I think it will work. Yes. So here's your lighthouse. You teleport to this lighthouse down the coast a bit. And Caius, this is kind of the first time. I don't think you've actually teleported him, have you?
Yeah, he has.
Oh, he has. Okay, so he teleports you very far away. To you, you don't know the distance, right? It's kind of just like you took a step. But you kind of get the sense based on not being able to see the city, or maybe at the top of the lighthouse you see the lights as the the sun sets. You see LA in the distance.
There's a lingering feeling I think I described before, like when he teleports you, there's just a wisp of a lingering feeling of contentment as you reappear.
Yeah, the warm fuzzy feeling.
Yeah, because he uses Nirvana to sort of pops out of existence, pops back into existence. Again, no mechanical benefit, it's just flavor.
Yep. And eventually the night passes as you sleep. Caius, you are sore, but you get over it pretty quickly from the missile that hit you. Just a flesh wound. And the next day comes, and Zen, you don't have your internet on yet, do you?
No, because we felt like we might get tracked.
Yep.
So I probably have to buy a new phone if we wanted that.
Yep. So you wake up, and it's the next day. And we can move straight to the meeting, or if you have something you want to do before then, you can do that too.
I reckon neither Zen nor Kaios have some contacts that we could just tell the phone number to, for example.
Yeah, wait a minute. We do have the other guy's cop
We have
cell
their
phone,
cell
right?
phone. The question is, I mean, we could use it, but I don't know if if whoever gave them the job is like a high government agency type, they might track his phone too. And so there is a risk of turning his phone on if the SIM card is in. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So Zen might have just asked someone on the street, it's like, hey, if I needed to get on the internet but not be tracked, how does it do that? And then they explain the concept of a burner phone to him, and then he goes and gets one.
Sure, that's fine. That would be fine.
Right, like that way.
Mm-hmm.
And so that means we could use a burner phone to call the number if we wanted to. And then we could also use a burner phone to use the internet again, because it's our own phone.
Yeah.
So if we have the internet, does that change anything, Ted?
It would in let's see, how do I want to do this? So would Zen be interested in let's just skip forward. Okay, yes. So Zen, you get on the internet. Maybe you are thinking about the kid who took the selfie with you and tagged you.
Yeah, he said something about likes and stuff. And
Yeah.
I have my hashtag. Some PR guy I helped said, set me up at some point with things I should care about.
Right.
And so I have my hashtag from then, and so from time to time I check in on that stuff.
Yeah, you look at that and you see like his picture with both of you, and he says, "These two saved my life, Zen and Caius," and he's like got this thumbs up and whatnot. And you're kind of you just happen to you look at one thing and you just scroll.
Yeah.
And you see there's a report. Maybe you just are taken aback by it. I'm not sure. It's up for you to decide. But it is the report of Amplify's death. His body was found in an alley where a shootout had occurred. And they are not releasing any more details about it, the local authorities. But Amplify is reportedly dead.
Yeah, Zen would break the news to Caius and say, "Looks like Amplify is dead."
Dead? How?
Mm, Uh, they aren't specific, only that he was found at the site of a violent gunfight. Maybe we can hope he died in service of the people around him.
Who's not being like Caius is kind of looking like who would know more about his death?
I assume his employer, perhaps. Maybe the police. Maybe
Yes.
locals that might have witnessed part of it. Why are you so interested?
Well, why wouldn't I be interested? He was helping us find Doppelganger, and now he's dead.
Mm, very
Perhaps-
true.
Perhaps we should go to the police and see if they know more.
Oh, we could certainly do that. I can Google the nearest precinct that would be responsible for that alley, I guess, right? That's the sane thing to do.
Mm-hmm. You can do that.
And what time would it be? Like, I know we had to be at the meeting at noon.
Yeah, it's
right?
like 8.
Yeah. He's old, so he gets up earlier than normal people now. At least I noticed with my parents,
Even
the older
for
they get,
supers, they get up early and go to bed.
yeah. Yeah.
It's got the heat on in California, blasting the heat.
Yeah. What else? Oh yeah. I Google like plane and then the park we were at. See if anything comes up. Any news about like a plane flying overhead? Like
There is reports of a strange fireworks or explosion in the area, but there's no like official word of like
okay.
missiles or anything like that, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, what we need is these friends that what Scully and Mulder had. What they called, the gentlemen or whatever they were. The 3 guys, the 3
Yeah.
nerds. Those were useful to have. Well, yeah, Zen's happy to look into that.
Yes, Caius would be eager to do it before they go to the meeting, just in case the meeting holds him up. Like he wants to find out more about Amplified before going to the meeting.
And Zen would say, at least if we find another Amplify, it must be Doppelganger.
Yes, that is true.
Not to mention at this point, yeah. To be clear, if you, Ted, were ever intending to replace Kaios with a Doppelganger Kaios, I think Zen would find that out very quickly, right?
Oh yeah, you could be able
Okay,
to.
cool.
Yeah, anybody in your vicinity, unless he has some sort of power you're unaware of, right?
Correct.
Something where you couldn't read their mind. Actually, so
Even that is a
yeah,
problem,
if
right?
you couldn't read their mind, that would
telltale.
probably at least make you suspicious.
Yeah.
Now, and if he had some sort of ability that, say, made you like falsified their mind or something like that, that would be something you've never experienced or
Yeah, someone literally writing
Yeah.
memories is crazy. Yeah.
yeah, it would be different for sure. All right, if you guys are you planning on going to the police station? Is that what you're planning on doing?
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah,
right.
yeah. We'll just have some roleplay food, and then we head to the police station because Zen would insist we try a Waffle House to test if Kaios maybe just needs a lot of sugar. Also, also Zen likes sugar.
Doesn't.
And who doesn't like waffles?
Exactly.
Well, I mean, I was gonna say who doesn't like Waffle House, but
I've never eaten there.
oh really?
No.
All right, give me 5 minutes while I generate. Or you guys can role play amongst yourself at Waffle House, but I have some good Waffle House stories, but
Yeah.
neither here nor there.
So we go to Waffle House, and Caius, of course, we get waffles and sausage.
Mhm.
You know, I'm sure that's what the kind of sees
Zen
everybody else
was very
kind of
much like try this liquid sugar on top, and then some of this butter. Really make it as sweet as you can, and tell me if you consider that flavorful.
He'll put some butter on it, and he'll start eating it, and
Bert's chili. Give him some Bert's chili.
yeah. And he kind of, if you're picking up vibes from him, he kind of has like the same warm fuzzy feeling that he would have from teleportation, right? because it's just something about waffles, you know. Yes, it does taste pretty good.
Ah, okay. I'll take note of that.
You know, kind of pick up the sausage, and this is quite. I'm gonna take a bite. What are those little strips of meat over there? Should I have gotten that?
Yeah, let's get some of them. They are called bacon. It is a
Hmm.
piece of an animal cut very thin. I think it is cured and then fried at high temperatures in oil or
Yes,
other fats.
it does smell good. He'll, of course, try to get the waitress' attention. You bring him some bacon as well.
Hmm.
Well, she's happy to do so.
Yep. Zen will eat at least half of the bacon. We'll just chew on it. Nom, 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 nom. Crunch, crunch, crunch. Delightful.
Yes, this is pretty good.
Hey, does someone actually pay you?
Paid.
You do get paid?
You kind of look at him. What do you mean payment?
Ah, yes.
yeah,
Where
you
you,
can't
where you
afford it.
come from? Where you come from? Is there a concept of currency?
Yes, there is credits.
Ah, I see. Here we use a variety of local currencies. You see, right here is the US dollar.
Ah,
I'm
well,
wondering if someone is providing you with some of that currency so you can buy yourself a phone, for example, or waffles.
no, nobody has provided me with any of your US dollars.
I see.
But usually at Acadius, they just have meals and I eat them.
I see. Well, once we're done here, let's stop at an international bank, and I'll give you some of my money. It will be useful for you.
Yes, we could do that.
You know, humans value money because it can be exchanged for services and goods that they want. Sometimes you might be able to convince someone to do or say something by exchanging some of the currency as well.
And I suppose there is some system that's set up so nobody just takes the currency or US dollars from places.
That is correct, yes. That would be considered a crime against the law, is to steal or manufacture it.
So people, in order for people to eat, they have to have currency or your US dollars.
Yes. Unless they raise the food themselves, raise or farm, you know, that still exists.
But what if someone doesn't have US dollars and they have to eat?
Well, there's a concept of poverty as well on Earth. It is very unfortunate.
Are those like those homeless that we dressed up as?
You are correct.
Weird system.
It is. It is. Where I
Can't-
come from, we monks have gardens, and we feed the surrounding villages from our toil, and it makes us very happy, and it creates a community, you know. But such is not the case in most of the rest of the world.
And such is not the case with my people either.
Ah,
Well, as far as having to pay currency or credits for food, we find it kind of vile that people would starve to death because they couldn't pay. It's kind of an unheard primitive concept.
it is. We humans are primitive in quite some ways. Very driven by emotion. Some of that is greed and a self-centered focus on personal enrichment. It is a plight.
A very sad one.
Yes.
And he'll kind of stop eating and look at his food. I think I should give the rest to the homeless people.
A good notion.
All right.
And I think we're done.
Yeah, you're able to you give the rest of your meal over to some homeless people nearby, and you travel either by air or by teleport over to inside the town to the nearest police precinct of where the reported death of Amplify and the scene of violence was. You're pretty much unsure of most anything else of that, and that's why you're here. You are able to enter the building, and the secretary looks up at you and, oh, how can I help you?
Yes. We are here to inquire about the news about Amplify having passed away. Would you mind connecting me with the... and he thinks about the word. Detective in charge?
Okay, why?
Oh, because we are here to inquire about it and learn more.
Well, the public relations office is at, and she gives you a different address.
Oh,
Hey,
you misunderstand. We work in... and I think we have... Sorry, I don't want to make this up, but we could say that we work for that Supers company, right? Like in association with... What is
or
their
the
name?
same. We could just say
Arcadius,
the
yeah,
same
you could say, yeah, you definitely,
Okay,
and
for
that's
Arcadia,
not
yes.
not untrue.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We say we work with Arcadius, of which you know Amplify was an employee.
Well, I don't really know much. Okay, take a seat. I'll see if somebody wants to talk to you. Okay.
Oh, of course.
Caius is kind of just looking around.
Yeah, you know, it's the very. I mean, I haven't been in many police stations in my life, but it's kind of the DMV style waiting. You know, uncomfortable chairs in a cramped room. There's the desk in front of you and a secure door that leads into the back. Probably after 15, 20 minutes, this man here pictured comes over and he opens the door and he looks at both you. You work for Arcadius, huh?
And Caius would let Zen answer.
You are informed correctly.
All right, well, come on the back. We got some questions for you then.
Ah, thank you so much. We do too. What is your name? Oh, he actually said that, right? He said Officer Jones.
He did. I don't know if he did, but he's got it.
Yeah, well,
Jones
that's
is
fine. Yeah.
on his chest there.
Then we'll make conversation essentially as he walks back with him, and then just flat out read his mind to just pull data mine all the information that guy knows
Right.
about Amplify's death.
He doesn't know a ton. He has read the reports. The reports read similar to this. Amplify was found in an alley behind a warehouse that was being used for other purposes than a warehouse. He was found with over 20 gunshot wounds at close range. His hoverboard was damaged and was found on the scene as well. He doesn't know anything about the building per se. He wasn't there, and he doesn't have access to that report. He's interested in it, but does not have access to it. He considers it, I guess you would say, classified or above his pay grade, whatever, the building itself. But he thinks that there's something definitely amiss in the building and wonders what Amplify had to do with it. He's actually quite sad that Amplify is dead. He was a fan. He followed him on Twitter. He followed him on Facebook and Instagram. So yeah, he would be kind of sympathetic. And he just walks you back to this room. It's essentially it's not an interrogation room. You've seen those in the movies, at the very least, and it is not one of those. It's his office. And he walks back. There's a pool of desks kind of that he passes, and he walks in and okay, come in here before everyone starts gawking.
Oh, thank you. I point out something that I know he is fond of, like a basketball card or
Sure.
a baseball that's signed or something,
Mm-hmm.
just to sort of ingratiate myself more with him.
Yeah, he's.
Oh, this is really interesting.
Oh, thanks. There's a baseball on his desk, and it's signed by, let's say, Oh man, I don't really know many of the recent. But King
Brock,
Griffey
Brock
Jr.
Strong-arm. Yeah, this
King
is
Griffey
someone.
Jr. It's a King Griffey Jr. signed baseball.
Yep.
And yeah, I got it when I was in Seattle when he played for the Mariners. You know, it was, he bombed one out there, and I got him to sign it the next game. It was pretty cool.
Caius
Memorable.
he must be some type of person for you to have a signed ball.
Zen looks over and says, yes, a sports athlete.
Yeah, he's. You don't know who King Griffey Jr. is?
No, I do not, sadly. Otherwise, I might want one of his balls as well.
Well, I mean, there are some on sale, sometimes on eBay and things like that, but you gotta watch out. A lot of it's BS. He played for the Reds for a while afterwards. He was hurt all the time. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. He's been retired 10, 15 years. He scratches his head. Anyway, yeah, it's baseball, you know?
Yes. Now, speaking of projectiles, would you mind? Have you kicked off a projectile analysis yet to see what kind of caliber, or maybe it's coming out of a known the bullets came out of a known weapon, anything like that?
Well, yeah, I mean, don't really have. I'm not sure what I'm at liberty to tell you guys. And he thinks in his mind about it, and you read it. And he thinks that they were actually from some sort of assault rifle. The serial does not match anything that came back. All very close range shots. And the blood smears on the ground, and they actually penetrated the body. So he thinks, and ballistics thinks, that he was shot as he was lying on his back on the ground. So either he was shot.
He was incapacitated.
He was could have been incapacitated and shot. You know, so not all the shots were in that vein. He was shot multiple times. His Kevlar, he had a Kevlar vest on, so he definitely was shot several times. But definitely the ones that killed him were him laying on his back and shot from someone above him.
I'll relay that we have whispered to Caius, and also tell him to be careful not to reveal that we know all this stuff.
Yeah, you realize that and kind of nod. You wouldn't reply yet, but you'd
he'll
hear
tell
his
Caius
reply.
as well. If you have interesting questions of things you just want him to think about, that is an opportunity. He doesn't need to actually tell us. Zen will say.
Yes, it would be useful as long as we could get him to think about it. Like, obviously with the calibers.
Can I help you, gentlemen? As you guys are just sitting there not saying anything.
Yeah, we were just thinking, and he's like, I was just thinking, have you talked to any witnesses? Have they said anything?
We did some canvassing. I can't talk about the witnesses, obviously. We can. Should I call? I mean, I can get a message over to Arcadius. I did call once. They didn't respond. Here, let me call them again, just to verify who you guys are, anyway.
Caius,
let me show you. No problem. And I pick up my phone, go to #Zen, and I find that post that I purposefully did with Amplify. And I show him that. I am a super.
Your burner phone?
No, on my normal phone, because you can take screenshots, right?
Okay.
Oh, actually, yeah. Even on my burner phone, I could just use the internet, right?
Yeah,
to
you
just
could.
pull up
Yeah.
#Amplify.
Yeah,
#Zen.
he looks at your flip phone and
He's like, it's me.
oh
You see?
yeah, I see that. Yeah. So you know him. That's cool.
Oh, I knew him, unfortunately. Now listen, were there anybody else in that alley? You said some sort of gunfight?
Yeah, I can't. I'm not at liberty. I'm sorry. Right now, and he thinks he did. It's unknown. Nobody was found in the alleyway.
Well, he wasn't there with like 5 gang members, and they're trying to have him framed or something like that. Like, there's none of that is happening.
In his mind, he doesn't know the answer to that. He was found alone, dead in the alleyway.
Well, okay. I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Caius would, speak up and, well, tell us about this building peculiar building that he's found by.
Well, I not at liberty to say. Sorry, guys. Should I just call Arcadius? I mean,
No, it's fine. I mean, you already tried. Um, you've been helpful. We might be
I
back.
mean, I guess. But yeah, in his mind, he doesn't know anything about it other than it's a warehouse, and that
Now let
inside
Caius know that
what he
lots of
said,
stuff
what I
else.
said earlier, he suspects that there's something else going on, but he doesn't have access to that report.
Okay.
Hmm. What do you think of who has access as he's like thinking like? About
Oh
the-
yeah, I mean his boss, FBI.
Or we. I mean, we can make ourselves have access, right?
Yes. Well, Caius would peep up and. Well, as you know, there's some. And he kind of refer back to the tweets that Amplify put out, right, about aliens and stuff like that. As you know, there's been a little bit of controversy, right?
Yeah, I do know that he has been tweeting some strange things about aliens. I guess. I mean, I think everybody thought he was on another bender. You know, unfortunately, he had some drug problems. I guess. I don't know. Did some bad things. I don't know. He had. I kind of. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, he said he didn't do those things, so I tended to believe him. But he definitely did have some trouble with drugs, and I know a lot of my friends were thinking maybe he was back on that stuff.
Hmm.
Well, since since I understand this makes you a bit uncomfortable, would you mind getting your supervisor, I think, so we can talk to him about that building, please?
Yeah, I can give him a call. He's not here right now, but I can give him
Where
a
would we
call.
be able to find him?
I'm not sure where he is right now, and sorry, I'm not at liberty to give that out
Oh, of
anyway.
course
You know,
could meet
and
him there.
he really doesn't know where he is. Not exactly.
Caius would pop up again. Look, I spent the better part of a day yesterday dodging missiles. I'd rather get to the point of talking to somebody that can help us.
Yeah, Zen will transmit and say, I'm intending, he will say, in his mind, in Kaiser's mind, will say, I intend to make his supervisor give us access to the warehouse, so we don't have to steal our way in.
Well, perhaps if we tell him about the missiles, it'd be, maybe he might want to get the supervisor here.
Yeah, Zen, he's just like in his mind. I am way over my head with this. He's like missiles. Yeah. Well, I don't know anything about that. Obviously. Hey. Here's his number, and he looks in his phone and writes it down. And
Nice.
passes it over. He's like, you can give him a call. His name's Doug Roberts. Sergeant Doug Roberts.
Okay, thank you very much.
What was the cop's name we saw at the out in the woods again?
Officer
Sewell?
Sewell, yeah.
And he'll look. Do you know of Officer Sewell?
Let's roll die and see if he's from this precinct. I mean, it's a huge town, right? 1d10, 1 to 3, yes. No, sorry, I don't know him. Big town, obviously.
Indeed.
Kind of think to Zen. Well, that's glad. Maybe he'll think to himself to Zen. Does he know him at all, or is he telling the
No.
truth?
He does not.
And he goes, okay, because he's thinking like if he's a dirty cop on a tank, more cops might know about him, type deal.
Yeah.
Like, so see if there's any relation that way.
Yep.
Watching all those 80s movies in his free time.
Yeah, Zen will then tell you that when he read Sewell's mind, he didn't feel like he was particularly corrupt, but just he needed money.
Yes, probably to eat, I'm sure.
I'm sure. And then we say, thank you so much, Mr. Jones. We'll be leaving now.
Sure. Hey,
The most unproductive meeting ever.
For him?
Yeah, he's very confused. Do you mind if maybe we get a selfie?
Oh, do I have any sort of spider sense? Oh, I don't need spider sense. Does he
Yeah.
intend badly with that picture?
No, not at all.
Okay.
He's
It's
just
maybe
gonna
it's like a
post
fan,
it.
fan
Post.
motivated picture.
Yeah. He's definitely into superheroes. He was a big fan of Amplify, and
That's right.
he's like, I don't think I'll post this on social media or anything. I don't. Yeah, I'm not
course.
sure.
Can I answer that? So you have seen the tweeter of the kid posting pictures with us before? I'm assuming.
No, sorry, I haven't.
Ah.
He's like, oh, what's your hashtag?
Zen.
Yeah. Oh, Zen. Yeah. And he's like, oh, yeah. He says you saved his life.
Yes.
Missiles and all.
Missiles. Well, I mean, maybe you should tell me what happened.
If I knew, we wouldn't be here.
Oh, you're here for the missiles?
No.
I thought you were here for Amplify.
We're trying to connect dots, Officer Jones.
Oh, well, I mean, can you tell me about the missiles? I'll take a report and we can look into it.
Yes, they blew up upon me.
Well, where? Can you tell me what happened? Where it was? A little bit more details than they blew up upon you?
To be honest, it might be a risk to you and your family if you knew. Do you understand what I mean?
Oh. Well, I mean, I'm a police officer, so, you know.
I understand. We will politely decline.
I
telling you
mean,
more about
if it's
something
a
that might
crime, you
cost
should
your
report it. I mean,
Look,
life.
I'll share these details with you. There was missiles flying through the air. I've took all of them onto my chest. Do you need to know more?
You
wow.
could look into, if you wouldn't mind, you could look into unscheduled military flights.
Well, I
east
mean,
of here,
can you
yesterday.
can you help me out? Where was the location? And maybe I could, yeah. Let me help you guys.
He means that.
Yeah,
but then again,
he's very interested in it. Now, if he can, he knows it would be difficult for him to get that information, but he is willing to try.
Caius
Yeah.
would think to himself to Zen, if they sent missiles after us, just remember what they'll do to this civilian cop.
Yeah. And Zen says, I apologize. We really have to go. If you get involved in this, it might not be good for your health. I apologize.
Okay. Well, listen. I mean, I'm here. I can help. I mean,
I understand you mean well, but I don't want you to be a casualty of this.
I'm not helpless.
If there's anything that we can use your help for that doesn't involve you prying into possible government operations and risking your family's life, we'll come back and appreciate your helpfulness. But right now, if you pry, who knows what's gonna happen to you, Officer Jones.
Okay, well, I mean, like I say, I'm a man of the law and I'm not helpless, and I know the risks of this position, and if there's a crime against anyone, supers or non-supers or whoever, then I'm willing to help.
Thank you. We'll need a bit more time to find out more. I wouldn't want you to end like Amplify.
Yeah, I
And then
wouldn't
he
want to
grabs
either.
like from his holder. He grabs like a card, like the police officer's card.
Mm-hmm.
Says, "I'll keep this. Thank you." And as he puts the card into his pocket, both Kaios and Zen just disappear.
Yeah. Oh, wow. He says.
Did he get the selfie first or no?
He did not get
He
the
had done
selfie.
Oh no! Oh no!
I feel bad.
No, to give us
No,
selfie.
no!
That would have replaced his baseball.
Oh, we'll be back.
Yeah.
I have a feeling we'll be back.
Yeah, we might use him later, but really, yeah, Zen is very concerned that, he's like, I'm not helpless. He's like, oh yeah, what are you going to do about a missile coming at your office? Yeah,
Take it
nothing.
on the chest.
Yeah, take it on the chest. Yeah. Missile 1. Jones has 0. And then, yeah, I guess Caius
Meeting.
and Zen just talk about it for a second. He says, "Do you want to check out that warehouse before we meet? We still have some time."
Yeah, what time is it now?
What, 10 maybe?
Yeah, I'd say 10's fair.
I feel like if we check out this warehouse, we might miss the meeting if there's something peculiar about this warehouse. If
How
you know
so?
what I mean. Well, Amplify died outside of it. Officer, was it Johnson, right? I already forgot.
Jones.
Jones.
How dare you?
How non-memorable. Wow.
I remember Mercer. That's on his name.
Yeah,
tag.
right. I noticed that as I was looking at him. I was like, oh shit, I should have named him Mercer.
But
We'll retcon that.
but it goes if Officer Jones was very feeling peculiar about that building as well. It feels like there might be more involved than a quick stop. If you know what I mean.
Yeah, you would know that probably it might be guarded to at least have a patrol around it or something like that.
Yeah.
If it's that like secretive, FBI or
Yeah.
And it's probably
Then I'll say perhaps I could just inquire with some locals.
I think maybe we might be able to find out more through this meeting, and maybe they know something about it. It's word of the streets, I guess some would say.
Okay.
But I don't want to risk having a tail or raising suspicions.
Understandable.
But we definitely, and he'll look over. You won't even you kind of say at the same time, but we definitely need to look into it as well.
Yes.
See who killed Amplify. And you kind of, if you sense in them, kind of get a little angry there.
Yeah. I don't think Zen knows anybody else who could help with missiles or airplanes or anything like that. It's not like we have a lot of contacts.
Yeah, I mean, we do. We have a lot. We just can't use them at the moment.
Correct. I mean, we could, of course, ask Arcadia to just give us access to that warehouse through their power, perhaps, because, it's one of their supers that died, and they could pull a few favors, but we don't know how much... Is it Arcadia?
Arcadius.
Arcadius. Close.
Yes.
But we don't know if Arcadius is in league with the darkness.
Exactly.
Or, we just don't know. It's a bummer. Zen is not happy to have to be this paranoid. Well, we certainly know that... because we met James Cole Gesfalt, the CEO of Arcadius, and at the time he didn't seem like a frickin' asshole.
No, but who, like Caius' thought is that people change.
Yeah, that's true.
Alliances shift.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess we head to the meet.
Sure.
Oh, I also, as I had said, I'll give you a couple $100.
Oh yes, we stopped by the
Mm.
U.S.
Yeah.
dollar exchange.
Yeah. So you have some valuta, you have some currency to use.
He'll ask them to keep it in his pockets for him because he doesn't have pockets.
Zen is like, you don't have pockets?
He looked down.
We don't use pockets.
So it's just not something...
He just doesn't have. It's his mesh weave. He doesn't have pockets. It's like tights.
Hmm. Zen is like, says, okay. Defeats the purpose if I have it on me, but okay.
Something tells me I'm not leaving your side anytime soon, Zen.
Works for me. You're delightful.
You kind of give a smile, a genuine one.
This is like buddy cop movie.
Yeah, pretty soon we'll have to break it down. Bad cop, good cop.
Easy peasy. I'll play the good cop. Obviously.
All right. The address that was given to you by Sadie, you go to that area. It's on the outskirts of the town. I think I had a place for it. I don't know that I actually marked it on the map. Yeah, it's out in Pasadena, just outside of LA proper, and you head out there, and let's see. It's an apartment complex, fairly standard, and yeah, you have the apartment number of 203, and you can do what you like. It is probably 11:45, we'll say.
So yeah, I imagine that we would kind of.
Do we know anything more than just the apartment complex? Because I'm not sure we'll be able to find her then.
Oh, you get to yeah. It was apartment building 203, or yeah. So
Okay. Okay.
yeah,
So
you have you have the exact
which apartment?
apartment.
Okay.
Yeah.
He sort of looks up in the sky to see if there's any missiles coming,
No,
then looks
no
back to
missiles.
Caius.
No.
and looks back to Caius and goes, "We could check out the place."
Well, I would say you teleport us on the inside of the complex. That way, one of your mini junky satellites flying around if we're being watched.
Sure. I'll make sure I have line of sight to apartment 203.
Mhm.
Well, he's just saying in general inside the general building because imagine there's hallways and stuff, right?
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
That's true.
Because somehow somebody knew if someone fired missiles at him, they knew where his thinking they might be still being tracked.
Yeah. But that's not how Zen understood it. So he looks at apartment 203 and teleports both of them right behind the door in the hallway
Perfect.
inside the apartment.
So you're going straight into the apartment.
Yeah.
Yeah, as you do that, there's a. Well, that's maybe over there.
A boom.
There's not a boom. So paranoid. Why would I ever do that? Okay. Sitting on the couch is a lady not quite as old as Zen, but definitely not spring chicken. Perhaps
Yep.
in their 60s. She has a black kind of power suit on, and she has her legs crossed, just sitting there. There's a briefcase next to her. There's a gun on the table, actually. And she blinks as you kind of appear. She looks a bit surprised, and she's like, "Oh, that's one way to make an entrance. Not exactly polite."
My apologies. We wanted to avoid being seen coming here. I'm sure you appreciate the discretion.
I do.
And then I read her mind.
Yeah, she's
No
like,
discretion on my side.
yeah, go ahead and roll. She says, I'm a bit envious, and you can roll.
Yep. That one. Du-du-du-du-du-du.
Yeah. So she is an agent of Resist the Darkness and has been for 3 years. Pretty much since the onset of when Supers came to be.
Yeah.
She was contacted originally by someone on the internet. She was a CIA agent, and she quit the CIA. She was retired, but still, as most are, we're still in the game. She had many contacts throughout the world. She did a lot of.
Oh, we found someone who has contacts.
Yeah, she's a very standard CIA agent with lots of contacts throughout Europe and Asia and the Middle East and such. And but she was retired, and she was contacted by someone on the internet called Sam. And when she thinks of Sam, she doesn't think of like first name Sam, but some sort of acronym that she doesn't really know what means. She's never met this person. She actually believes it's not a person. She believes it's artificial intelligence. And all of her information has been gathered through Sam as an intermediary. You know that there's a person in a adjoining room listening to this conversation, and it is armed if needed. With
Does she know much more about that person? Like, is it a lover? Is it a permanent bodyguard?
it's more just an associate agent of hers. His name is Richie.
I mean, yeah, exactly. If he's non-impactful, then of course I don't want to make me suddenly come up with family and background and everything. You know?
Oh yeah, nothing important for him.
Yeah.
He's just one of her agents, and he is also a tech person, so he interfaces with Sam as well for her on her behalf usually. The reason she joined Resist the Darkness was because Sam was able to predict certain things in her life to come within weeks, and Sam told her that he's predicting the super war, and because he believes, well, it believes that it can predict the future based on, you know, current events and whatnot, that she tends to believe it, and so she is working hard to prevent this super war, and which she thinks will destroy the Earth. She's just like staring at you, and you get this in, you know, a couple seconds, and she blinks and she's like, "Well,
Yes.
did you have fun reading my mind?"
Yes. Connecting with other people around me is what I do.
And
How about you?
Yeah, you get the sense that she knows about you two, not just from Sadie Quinn, but from basically illegally interfacing with Arcadius's network and the government's network, and they know about you, so she knows about you through Sam. And she says, "Well, now that you're here and you know what I know,
Yes.
does it put you at ease with our organization that your government, I'm assuming, has tried to put down, or wants you to put down? You could take me in, you could kill me now, if that's what you wanted."
Your values seem incongruous with the picture painted to us by the agency. That is correct.
Well, then what will you do?
Well, what do you know about the missiles launched yesterday over the safe house we were asked to investigate? One could say we were sent there and then shot at.
Yes, I do know that there were missiles launched there. I do not know who did it or what their intended target was. We have not been able to send anyone there to do recon.
What about the robots that were there?
That is a good question. Sadie told me about them. She was there when they attacked. They were after
She doesn't
Fireball.
know anything about that?
She doesn't know. She knows that there are those things being built by various organizations throughout the world. To her, it's not that big of a surprise that those things.
These robots?
Yeah, she
obviously knows much more than we do.
What's that?
She obviously knows much more about what's actually going on.
Yes, absolutely, yes, for sure. Yeah, she is aware of advanced tech being created throughout the world. So she doesn't know anything specifically about these robots or where they came from specifically, but it's not a shock to her at all that something like this would have happened.
So the robots were the aggressors.
As far as, yes, Sadie informed me that she was there with Fireball, looking for a treatment for his condition. And they showed up after the meet with the other supers.
Who was in the car?
Oh, Taggart Lewis. He's a handler for the supers. Independent agent that got supers that are unaffiliated with big companies like Arcadius work. He just got caught up in the crossfire, is what I've heard.
And you wouldn't know anything about our friend Amplify, would you?
I heard he was killed.
Is that all she knows?
What's that?
Is that all she knows?
Yeah, she knows more than that. She's so that's what she starts to say, and then she just continues to say what she's thinking. She says, "Well, the warehouse. Yes, I know quite a bit about it, actually. It was where Fireball was, the boy, the super that exploded. You see, Sadie took him to that safe house out there to try to get treatment for him. Because in that warehouse is really a lab. And in that lab, they were trying to turn certain supers into not supers. Or they were trying to boost certain supers' skills and powers. All sorts of terrible experiments. And Sadie had rescued Fireball from that place, and tried with others, but was unable to. And she tried to get Fireball help for what they had done to him, with, what was her name? Dr. Vitae and her bodyguards. And I don't believe she was able to help him. Sadie told me that she had inquired with the three of them, and they intended to go to the warehouse and rescue the rest of the supers. What Amplify was doing there, I have no clue.
Obviously, maybe doing the same thing.
Maybe. How did he know about it? There's nothing that I know that would put him with any other group that would know of its existence.
He was very attuned to the tweeter. He kind of look a little.
Yeah, Zen gives him an approving nod. He's like, yeah, nice try.
Yes. And perhaps somebody reached out to him. I wish he would have reached out to us. Perhaps he wouldn't be dead now.
It is unfortunate. But that's what you would see in that lab if you went there.
Who's protecting the lab now?
Oh, the FBI has it shut down. I'm sure they're talking to your friends at the agency already. I'm afraid that everything of value's already been scooped out of there. Not to mention there were plenty of supers being held there. Where they are now, I have no idea. Or what's come of them. Maybe they're dead. I don't know.
What would you say the size of your organization Resist the Darkness is?
I wished it was bigger than it was, but when you invite many into your organization, you know what they say? Corruption. Many lips, someone will mess up. So we are small, and honestly, we do not know much about the other cells to keep us safe.
That is understandable. Now tell me, were your people there when Amplify was shot?
My people were not there, no. I don't know the circumstances of his death. All I know is that Sadie had talked to those three supers that I had mentioned, and they were going there to try to rescue the rest of the supers. What happened
Maybe
in the
it's
meantime?
time to call Sadie.
I've had
Get an
her...
update
An update?
on how that went with the three supers.
Yes. We'd also be we look forward to meeting these three supers that were there when Amplified died.
I don't know that they were there when he died exactly. I just know that they were going to the warehouse at some time. I assume that perhaps it all happened at the same time. Sadie will contact me later today or in the next couple days. I've had her go underground for a bit. You've brought some heat to her, and obviously the agency knows about her. She must be very
Toro.
careful. She's one of my agents. A field agent of mine. A very good one.
Ah, so you run this cell with
I
the
do.
help of Sam.
Of course.
I understand.
And we are trying to save the Earth. The world. I don't know if it will expand out to other places, to other worlds, but our world for sure will come to an end if we do not do something. And
No.
so, yes.
What proof do you have, and who is involved? Where would you draw the line? Is it the agency not to be trusted? Arcadia's not to be trusted? The U.S. government not to be trusted?
I don't know if anyone is to be trusted exactly. And my proof is what Sam has shown me. He was able to predict many things in my life over several months. So why could he not predict this? He has predicted things to come, and everything he has predicted has come true.
Sam might be a powerful ally. Maybe we could meet Sam.
Sam is digital. Only digital.
Sure. I'm sure you have a digital device.
I do. I do not think that is appropriate for now.
Why is that? Why does she think that is? I don't need to ask a question.
Yeah. You don't know that she feels that she can trust you.
Fair. He says, on the subject of trust, you have to understand that what you describe is faith. If I was to tell you that your door would be smashed in within the next hour, and then I asked Kaios to smash in your door, how would you know I didn't predict that to happen?
She smiles. She says, I do understand that for some, but it is a bit different. You are saying that Sam can control things that do not seem to be controllable.
No. I'm saying that Sam might be so potent that they can control things to make the events that are predicted to you happen.
Yes.
I could tell you that look for the big crash on this and that highway in 2 weeks' time. And then I manufacture a crash in 2 weeks' time.
Yes. As in whoever Sam is, someone's also in charge of Sam.
No, I do not think so.
What proof do you have?
I do not have proof.
So we are back at belief. And faith. You see the conundrum.
If it's one thing I've learned about your kind, is that there's always somebody above somebody else.
Doesn't a triangle always stop somewhere?
True, especially if you're making the case that Sam is that powerful. It makes my case even better, that Sam might be manufacturing these events to happen as predicted.
What would be his point? Why would he do this? If he was so powerful, what would he need our help for? He would just do it.
Well, as you said, he is digital. He's got limits. If a door needs opening, a fleshy hand should open it. He's built a group of devoted, faithful believers that will do whatever he tells them to do, within reason, of course, and oppose the lawful government and order of this planet. I'm sure you can understand the logical path
I do.
I'm outlining for you.
I do. But who do you trust? You certainly do not trust the agency, or you would not be here in this state. You would have knocked my door in, or you would have apprehended Sadie when you could, if you could. You certainly could of me, and we are giving you the trust now. This place is not that big of a deal, but I am here. You could apprehend me. You can read my mind. You know I mean you no ill will.
You do not, your master might. How do you know Sam isn't the one bringing about the darkness? You don't. I know you don't.
I don't know. But
You
I
just
do-
believe. It's based on faith.
It's based on educated hypothesis and guesses from what I've seen. Look at what's happened now. Your friend is dead. Your friend is dead. And
Yes.
did supers kill him? Maybe. But I know what was happening in that warehouse was definitely experimentation on supers. And this
Well,
is
Go ahead then.
yeah, good.
Caius is going to interrupt. I don't think it was supers that killed Amplify. It was bullets. Lots and lots of bullets. And he'll give the
Yes.
caliber that Zen weaned from.
Right, yeah,
Yeah.
yes, I know that he was shot by a gun, but that doesn't mean it wasn't wielded by a super. There's many ways to do violence.
Yes, but why shoot him so many times?
I don't know.
You see, humans have an issue with understanding large, complex systems and life and each other in general. If you were to have 1,000 people flip a coin, and whoever had tails remains standing, whoever had heads sits down, every time about half of the people would sit down until after 10 flips there might be one person remaining, and that person might say, "Oh, look at me, I'm special. I flipped the coin 10 times on the same side. I'm special." And it's all just random statistics. What I'm saying is you actively work against some enemy that is immaterial for someone who is immaterial, who you can't prove isn't the enemy or has bad intentions.
Yes. In other words, subversion.
Let me ask you this. What government or what person in power is one or the other? Good and evil, these are not real. They're just people and what you do. And if Sam tells me to do things that are helping people, that's all I need to know. I didn't know about this warehouse until Sam alerted us to it, gave us tips to help find it, and we did. And what did we do? Hopefully we saved some lives.
And where are these lives now?
As I said, the government or the agency or the CIA, someone has the warehouse in lockdown.
But you did say that, or you at least did think, and you'll kind of look at Zen, they found other supers in there.
Oh, there
Where are
were
these-
definitely other supers in there because Sadie snuck in and was able to escape with one, and we tried to get him help, medical help. There was at least a half dozen others there. Perhaps Amplify was captured with them. I don't know.
He'll think to himself, the Zen. One side or the other is building an army of supers.
Yeah, Zen whispers back and says, it seems difficult to ascertain who is good and bad, as she says. And then I'll ask her specifically about, describe to me then some of the things that you have done over the past 3 years. And so we don't have to play that out because that would take a while.
Yeah.
But he's trying to establish
Yeah,
what
what
type
would
of
yeah.
organization
Uh-huh.
they are,
I
because
mean,
were told very little by the agency about why they're a terrorist group. Like, do they blow people up? Do they
yeah.
murder? You know, like
I
why?
mean, they've done morally gray things like you would expect.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, sure. Like any like she's a CIA, former CIA operative, so she runs
Yeah.
her cell like a CIA cell. So
Mm.
they've done things that you would think is morally gray, but they haven't done anything such as like blowing up random civilians, mass murdering people, that sort of things. Have they killed people? Sure. Have they done things that you would find distasteful? Sure.
But
Um,
are they actually doing things that are classified as terrorism, which is violence and destruction to terrorize the population?
no, no.
Okay, so that's already helpful, and he would let Kaios know that. And then are they doing currently things to actively disrupt the government or companies? For example, do they go on a mission to destroy a power plant,
Yeah, they do.
right?
They do
Or
things like that. Yes.
they do. So they do try to hamper whoever they perceive to be helping
Yes.
the darkness.
Yes. For sure.
Okay, so that logically leads then to he will then ask, okay, then who is actively helping the darkness? Like, what's your list of enemies then?
That's a good question.
Right?
Yeah, she says everyone. Not so much as everyone in every organization, but we feel that the darkness has subverted every major organization on Earth. Arcadius, the US government, the agency, which handles superheroes, even resist the darkness, we think, in some places. And she's being forthright.
Mm.
Finding out where and what they're doing and what they're attempting to do and how they're doing it is what we try to fight.
Now, what type of being would you, in your mind, imagine has that kind of power to organize something so complex, so wide-reaching?
She smiles. I know what you're trying to get at, but it makes no sense. Why would you actively fight against yourself?
Oh, has Sam ever revealed that maybe Sam has an evil mustached brother?
He has
They're,
not.
they're fighting each other.
It is possible. I have thought
It is.
of that as well.
Mm.
But
So
he has not
Sam has not
specifically.
revealed to you who the darkness actually is, who or what?
He claims he does not know.
So there's some scheming mechanism, a group or a person, a being, that is manipulating events and people in a way that will lead to a war between supers. Am I getting this right?
Yes. Let me ask you this.
Interesting.
Do we know every power that there is? Every thing that can be? She looks at Caius specifically. This doppelganger is here. Have you seen powers like his? I have not. Caius here. He is perhaps not unique in his powers, but he is certainly not of this earth. And there are others too. Several others. And there may be something from beyond that wishes our destruction. Do not discount things we do not know exist.
Caius
He
would
thinks about.
peek up at the doppelganger. Well, since we're on the topic, doppelganger, what would you know about him?
Likely no more than you do. He's here. He has powers where he can recreate any of us. He can find any of us that he has seen. And he can project himself in any image that he can change.
Wait, is she describing the powers of Doppelganger?
Yeah.
The same powers we
So
call the king.
so scrying. So yeah.
But we didn't know that he can just find anyone that he's seen once.
Yeah. Maybe not.
Yeah, I might be new.
What is, he will ask, what is scrying?
It is essentially being able to look at those that he wants to at the moment, as if he were here.
From an outside perspective?
Yes, as he was just watching us, if he wanted to.
So he's perhaps watching us right now have this conversation.
It is possible, if he cares enough to do so. It is not like he is omnipotent, as far as I know. He has to will it. And I do not believe he can do it all the time.
Do you
Well,
perceive him as being an agent of the darkness?
Perhaps. It is hard to know. Certainly what he is doing is not helpful. But not every threat is actively working for the darkness. Maybe he is, but doesn't know it.
Well, you see, Caius here is interested in capturing him. And if Resist the Darkness were to help us with said endeavor, maybe that would go part of the way to earning our trust.
Well, maybe you can help us. And we can
Well,
help each other.
He says, well, associating with you has us land on many lists of many of the...
It would. You would just need to not let those people know that you associate with us.
I'm afraid I'm not as well trained in clandestine operations as an ex-CIA agent.
Understand. That's why you need some help. There are other supers that we work with, or would like to work with, that we would like to recruit. People that we think will have a likewise opinion on the darkness and might help us. Perhaps those 3 that went to the warehouse would be a good place to start. I don't know. There's some
We'd love to
others
meet
that...
We'd love to meet them, if even to ask them about Amplify's fate.
I could try to arrange it. I don't know exactly where they are right now, or what exactly happened. I would like to talk to them about it myself.
well, you said there were supers. What powers did they possess?
Oh, there are several. Let's see. Madison, the woman. She is a healer, by all accounts. Magical healing. Also, can do some disruptive things to the body. All bioorganisms. The others are Vindicator. He is a warrior, strong, regenerative powers, that sort of thing. And then the last one, the new one, Wraith. He is a kid, almost. Early 20s. Invisibility, incorporeal abilities, can walk through walls invisible, that sort of thing.
Very interesting lot. They send in to rescue people, or I guess you didn't send them since you said they were going there on their own accord.
Sadie talked to them, and I don't believe it took much convincing. That was our only option at the time. You see, some of our agents ended up in that warehouse. Fireball and the others. There's a purge against your kind. And
Say what?
She said there is a purge against your kind.
And
In what way?
In the way that they captured several supers and were experimenting on them. And Fireball's illness was to remove his supernatural abilities. This is why we tried to heal him.
Have you been able to link any of these illegal anti-super, anything damning to the agency or to Arcadius? To the government?
Oh, there are several links, here and there. For,
You see proof that they are working for the darkness and against supers?
well, I can certainly tell you that the head of this laboratory in the warehouse was funded from agency money. Now, where that money actually comes from, I don't know. You see, it is not as simple as just knowing if an entire agency is the darkness or works with the darkness. But instead, individuals and, some groups of those organizations. We must find exactly who they are and weed them out. And I want you to help me do that. You, Zen, would be a great asset in this.
It's true, I can tell. I would be able to tell if someone is actively working for something like the darkness, if they even subconsciously thought about it.
So I guess I am asking the two of you to trust me for now, and help me help your kind.
I'm happy to extend some goodwill. I could start by identifying if any of your compatriots are working for the darkness.
Well, you've already spoken to Sadie, have you not? Or was... Oh, and she pauses. It wasn't in person. That's right.
What about your friend in the other...
He is in there. You're free to read his mind if you want.
I'll do it just to confirm that he isn't.
Yeah, he's not. He's not.
double
He's just waiting kind of nervously on the other side of the door with a shotgun.
Yeah, I'll say it. He seems not to be working for the darkness. He's clean. At
So,
least today.
I would ask you this. I will help arrange a meet with Madison and her friends if you do one thing for me. It isn't inconsequential, certainly. I need you to go back to the agency, perhaps pretend that you were unable to find Sadie, and find what you can. And she opens the briefcase and pulls out a flash drive and sits it on the table. Find one of their main computers, not a laptop or something, but a mainframe, a server room. Install this. This is the only way we'll know for sure. Even though you can read people's minds and whatnot, as you have found out, there are many layers to this, and a lot of people don't know exactly everything that's happening. But this will help us infiltrate their networks, and we will be able to find out more and more about the agency, who I suspect has great influence over supers and would easily be infiltrated by the darkness.
Yeah, Zen is really uncomfortable with that idea, and sort of a bit of a scowl would be on his face. He looks over to Caius, and just waits for a second.
Caius would look at that flash drive and... So you want us to trust you to go on their networks and compromise your nation's security just so you can know more about the agency. He kind of looks back at Miss Galloway.
I want you to help us stop the darkness, whatever that takes.
But what if you are the darkness?
We are not the darkness.
You wouldn't know if Sam is just using you as puppets.
Yes, the same way we don't know if the agency is using us as puppets.
Indeed.
Well, here's what we do know. The agency gave you a location to find a safe house, and then you were attacked by missiles.
Here's what we also know. Sadie asked us to go check that safe house out before meeting her here.
don't know
Yes.
that that's exactly true, though. Did she? I think she said that it was a safe house. You got the information of that safe house from
Well, for sure, the safe house
agency.
was mentioned by the
Yeah.
agency.
Okay.
Yeah, we told her
Um,
we would go and go look too. So
Yeah.
if I remember
Well,
correctly.
I think it's a
you
piece of
know,
proof, right?
yeah. She
She had
says, well,
encouraged us.
yeah. She says, well, Sadie works for me. I don't believe Sadie would ever be able to arrange such a thing, and I did not arrange it, so it was not us.
Oh, but Sam might.
Sure,
Top
Sam
of
could.
and he says top of the triangle.
Yeah, she gives a slight smirk. I did not know you were going there. She shrugs.
I know.
Sadie should not be interfacing with Sam directly.
Yes, but if the Sam does know anything, or if it is able to, I don't know, eavesdrop on our communications over to internet, then Sam would know we were going there as well.
Sam could use his predictive powers to know that we would be there.
It is
Or
true.
their predictive powers.
It is true. Well, the offer is here.
Or perhaps, maybe, you look down at the USB again. Don't ask us to take that drastic measures until we know you better. And if you have another test for us, perhaps you should bring it to us. One that's not going to undermine a whole nation's security.
Well, I didn't say it was going to undermine the whole nation's security. I'm very sure that the mainframe of the agency is not connected directly to the government. Without some sort of security protocols in place that we would not be able to break so easily. It is only the agency here in town that I am worried about at the current moment.
Yeah, I think as a player, I'm picking up what you're putting down as a GM,
Mm.
but I can't. I just don't see my character
No, that's
having
fine.
that.
That's
you know,
absolutely fine.
like
Yeah.
giving her enough trust to commit a clearly illegal, subversive, could be considered terrorist action, because depending on what they do with that data, right?
Sure.
And with that access.
Yeah, that's completely fine. That's not a problem whatsoever. She says,
He's not an anarchist, you know? Like,
Yeah.
he believes in social order.
she says, if you do not wish to do this, this is fine. I do not force people to do things unlike, well, other groups. She takes back the USB stick and kind of puts it back into the briefcase and closes it. She says, give me a way to contact you, and I will. And another less, perhaps, intrusive thing that we could exchange.
Yes. We could do that. And he'll kind of look back at her. And rest assured, I will be asking them about the missiles that hit me.
She just
I-
looks at you. You should. You should look out for yourselves. It is dangerous time for your kind.
How do we contact you?
She pulls out a familiar burner phone, and she just tosses it from the couch over to Caius. There's one number in there. Call it when you need me. Then crush it.
You know, look at Zen. Perhaps we should have crushed our burner phone long ago.
Just bought it today.
Yes, but we were on the interwebs.
I don't think I searched for anything incriminating other than lane, park, missile, that kind of thing.
True. He'll hand Zen the phone for your pockets.
Ah, yes. It just disappears in his many folds. His monk robe folds. He says, well, for the benefit of Resist the Darkness, I hope your PR department helps you with a better onboarding. There's not much to go on in terms of trust unless there's a lot of free faith and belief given to your story. No offense is meant, but I'm a pretty practical person, and it wasn't very convincing yet.
Yes, and as you know, I'm not from around here, so I'm not one to disrupt the ripples of the puddle, so to speak.
I'm sure we'll talk more. For now, we will protect what we know about you.
Very well.
Is there a specific answer you would like us to give to agency about Sadie? Our mission was to learn more about her.
You can tell her or them anything that you did learn about her. I don't think it's anything that they don't know already. But for now, I think I will keep her in hiding, since you have not agreed to work with us today.
Understandable. She seems compromised if the agency knew where she went and lived.
Yes, it is true. Some of it was purposeful, because we figured they would send supers after her, and we wish to talk to them. But for now, I think she will keep to herself.
You can see that perhaps some supers will align with the world governments, and if you recruit a large number of supers to oppose the world governments, that might lead to some sort of confrontation between supers?
It's good, yes. We are aware of that. That's why we are not recruiting mass amounts of supers. Just the ones we think we can trust, and the ones with skills that we can use. But
Speaking of,
Hmm.
that meeting would go a long way for us to figure out what happened to Amplify. If you wouldn't mind setting that up?
well, trust goes both ways.
Of course, as I said, as a token of good faith, we will not tell them about this apartment, or you, or your friend over there. And he will actually use like the guy's real name, right?
Yeah,
Or
Richie.
so-and-so. Yeah, Richie over there, or Sam.
Yes, and we won't take you in either.
That is directly opposed to the mission we were sent here to do. I believe that earns us a good amount of trust.
She thinks about it for a minute. I'll see what I can do.
I'm sure there's a lot you can do. Thank you, Miss Galloway.
Very well. And she nods and... this apartment, I wouldn't worry about that. I won't be here much longer.
Of course.
No, you want to be here, but the people that live here will still be here. So it actually is better if we do not tell anybody about this apartment in our meeting.
Oh,
there
no
would
one
be
lives
any-
in this apartment. I mean, in this apartment building, sure, but they don't have anything to do with me.
Yeah, missiles might still hit the apartment if you get our drift.
Yes, and that would be on you if you did.
Indeed.
Yes. Or we could stop the missile tech altogether. And if we were working for the agency, instead of trying to figure out who's right and who's wrong, we would just take you with us, and no missiles would even be a threat.
Yes.
Unless it wasn't them that sent the missiles. In that case, there's still a threat of missiles.
Yes, you could help the agency and help the darkness. It is up to you. You could take me in, but... You already know everything that I know.
Yes. And it is helpful.
If she was to set up a meet, how would she go about it?
She probably would call you on that phone. The burner phone she gave you.
Sure, that's how she contacts us. How would she contact Amplify? Not Amplify. Sorry, Madison and the other two.
She would have to physically reach out to them. You think? She doesn't.
How would she
have-
go about that?
Probably Sadie.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm forcing the subject into her mind,
Mm-hmm.
and so if she has to contemplate meeting them at their usual spot, then I know the usual spot.
Yeah.
If she
No, there's no
contemplates
user.
calling
She
them-
she would have to. She would have Sadie go do it. She doesn't know exactly where they are, and neither does Sadie. But they would have to find them.
So maybe we would have to find them too.
Yeah, they don't have any contact information. You know that from what she knows, that the only contact that she's had with those supers was to heal Fireball, and then after the kind of the ramifications of them being attacked, they agreed to go to that warehouse. It was kind of almost a spur of the moment thing. It wasn't actually planned. And then they went over to the warehouse and did whatever happened. So
The rules question. I
Mhm.
think we had agreed that mind control can be is on a range, right? It's on a range of I take full control of you, like drive by wire.
yeah,
You know, I walk you around like a puppet or marionette.
yeah,
But I could also insinuate or imply little ideas or change their mind on a subject by using mind control. Sort of like a flip a switch. Where
I mean, it wears off though.
it wears off in 35 minutes. So
Yeah.
if I asked her, if I sort of said, but I insist, or not I insist, I just like, I really think trust goes both ways, and us covering for you is enough for you to ask Sadie to, set up the meet. And then I use mind control to make her do it.
You could do
Then
that,
she might
but
change her mind 35 minutes
Right.
later, but if by that time Sadie has already set up the meet,
maybe unless she calls Sadie after 35 minutes and say, "Don't call off the meet because this guy just mind controlled me." Right.
But wait a minute. Can't
How would
Zen
she
make
know?
him forget
how
about
would she know
mind
she got
control?
mind control?
Yeah.
I think that it's written that it's. I guess it's probably not written, but
It's like Inception,
It
right?
will
The whole
be.
movie Inception, right? Is like you change someone's mind on something.
Like what he did when we were at the bar, where he was telling, "Why don't you go catch the bus or whatever?"
yeah, but
or-
it was inconsequential after him catching the bus. He was already kind
True.
of gone. But
Yeah, true.
Because I feel like there is a chance, sort of in theme, if I make them do something that is really off to them, like, give me your car, then after half an hour they'd go like, why the fuck did I give that person my car? But if I said, if I went into a shop and I said, and I actually haggle with them and I said like, you really should give me a 10% discount, and it seems reasonable to them that they made the choice to give me 10% discount, after 30 minutes when it wears off, it wouldn't be against their value system. So
Yeah,
it
that's what
wouldn't
you're saying.
trigger any internal,
mhm.
It's the same way that the guard idea you and I had, right? If we need to infiltrate somewhere, I make the guard go pee.
Yeah,
That's not, I mean, he's not, after half an hour, he shouldn't like freak the fuck out that he went to pee.
right. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
It's just it's a simple idea that fits into his understanding of how the world works and what his body or mind might tell him. And so I'm hoping that it isn't, because I'm not telling her, tell me where Sadie is right now, which is really something that's
Yeah,
off.
right.
Like or put Sam on the phone against her will, which I could make her do that.
Yeah, sure.
But I understand that in half an hour she would probably go, why the hell would I have done that? He mind controlled me.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping that
So
I
you're trying to get Sadie
just
to.
nudge her.
Like a persuade, right? But only
Just
with mind
nudge
control.
her to set up that meet by making a good case about, look, we're reaching out with our hand. We want to help you, and we want to hear from these supers that trust you, which might potentially make us trust you.
Mhm,
Yeah.
That's my case, right?
mhm.
Persuade that little bit, but only instead of it'll be persuading, it would sound like he's trying to persuade her with speech, whereas in the mind, he's really convincing her to make that phone call.
Set it up. Yeah, to set it up for us. And maybe you as a GM, right? Like, depending on what you decide, you maybe, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, go ahead.
'Cause
Go ahead.
I should know in her mind why she's so reluctant to have us meet these three.
I don't think
Um,
she's necessarily. You would think that she's not necessarily reluctant, but she doesn't know what happened in the warehouse. So her not knowing like makes her uncomfortable about what's going to happen, and she doesn't like to put her organization or people in situations where she isn't fairly sure what the outcome's going to be, right? Because she thinks like what you think, that maybe they killed Amplify and she doesn't know why, right? But
Oh,
you
in that
could-
case, we can all meet together. Not a problem.
I don't know if she wants to do that, but go ahead and you can roll mind control on her. Go ahead.
Okay.
And then she'll
Let's see if
roll
that works.
her.
Oh, do I need to click her or do I just click Psyche?
It doesn't
on myself?
matter because it's not technically targeted. You got to beat a 30. So
Got it. Dig, 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 dig.
Yep.
I beat a 30.
yeah. So she says, "Fine, I'll set up the meet as best I can. I have to find out where they are and how to get a hold of them. And then I'll let you know.
And in
This
the
might go a long way.
and Caius would say, in the meantime, if you need any help from us, you let us know.
I'll
Aside
see.
from that, he'll look down at the US. Well, the USB is no longer there.
Yeah, look down at the briefcase. She says, "Fine. I'm sure I can come up with something."
There are surely things, as you said, that might be beneficial. Saving people. The good stuff instead of the illegal stuff.
Hmm.
To show what your organization really is made of.
Or if there's another warehouse, I would like to take a look at an active one myself.
I don't know of
Sure,
anything like that, but
I'm sure Sam can predict a variety of bad things happening, disasters, things where Resist the Darkness can help. That even indirectly might help work against the war that's coming.
she nods. Sure. I'll let you know.
If you don't mind and don't think it is too improper for us to just teleport out of here, then we will do that so we don't get seen coming in and out.
I think that's a wonderful idea.
It's a pleasure of meeting you. I hope to meet you soon again. I anticipate getting contacted by someone about that meet soon.
Yes, she just kind of... She's a little... like, it's kind of like when you... I kind of, like, imagine, like, when you do mind control something, it changes how their thoughts are just about everything. Like, they're kind of more placid and, easily manipulated, and just in general, just kind of... their brain works very different. So she doesn't give, like, long, elaborate, responses, just yes, no, fine, that kind of thing. And
Yep.
she does.
He says, he says, as a parting gift, there's an interesting phrase as used where I come from, and it goes like this: "He who knows nothing has to believe everything. Goodbye." And then he teleports both of them out. Sort of implying that she really just blindly trusts Sam.
Mhm.
And then we teleport, like, probably max distance in a direction where I know it's safe to appear, like, on a house or something. Yeah, sure. Yeah.
How about there?
That's a nice story end or like session
Yeah.
ender.
Yep.
Yeah. And then Zen will reveal to Kaios and said, like, I unfortunately had to nudge her mind a little to make the meet happen with the supers. I felt, as a friend to you, you really want to get Doppelganger, and Amplify was part of that.
I do, and I want to figure out the whole thing with Amplify.
I agree.
It seemed like the meeting would possibly go nowhere if we weren't going to put that thing into the mainframe.
Clearly, and and he says, let me explain to you, that is a clearly very illegal act on this planet, in this country.
Well, it's subversion, just like I'm worried about
Yeah.
Doppelganger being able to do.
It would have severe repercussions if found out against us. Not just by the agency. Hence why I opposed it.
Yes.
Alas, I am not a criminal.
And I do not know enough about humans to know who to believe and who to topple. I guess you could say it's not my objective to do that here.
Wise words. Now, and then maybe, unless we have other things to say, he'll say, now, have you heard of ribeye? And maybe that's, he goes on about sauces and meats and stuff, because it's, again, food time. and he's taking Kaios on this culinary tour of Earth to find out what flavorful means.
It's like, let's go to Kansas City for the barbecue, right?
Exactly.
So, over the next couple hours, you discuss things and talk about some not very important things like food. And you're meeting
Heresy.
with you were shot by missiles, and you had a meeting with the organization's cell head of Resist the Darkness here in California. And with that, we'll close her out.
Nice. Yay!